Gaming news today is all about big things in 2025. First, there are rumors growing that we are going to see Gears of War E-Day coming in 2025. Now, I did a video on this last night. It's a short video, really to the point. Make sure and go check that out. If you leave a comment, you may get featured in this live stream. Now, another thing that we're hearing that may be showing up this year, Valve apparently has a big piece of hardware planned for later in 2025, and it will not be cheap if the rumors are true. Third, there's a pretty big AAA title already landing on PlayStation Plus, which could be good or bad depending on how you look at it. And lastly, an interview about Call of Duty skill-based matchmaking is making the rounds, and it is incredibly vindicating to those of us who have really tried to criticize it over the years. And as always, I've got a game for your wish list and your radar, and MASH is going to start the day by gifting 20 people a member, and that is something that we do here. Every 25 members, I gift members as well. We have very generous people who continue to bless others with memberships. Something that we're really trying to do, though, is get more and more folks to pick up their own membership. So when you get it gifted and you like it, and you like all that extra content, consider picking up your own membership. We need like 15 people to grab a Member Plus membership for $6, and we'll hit a brand new milestone, and we'll celebrate with an IRL stream. If you cannot afford a membership, it's totally understandable. Make sure you hit like, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and you might get blessed by one of these people. So let's jump right into this. What are we hearing about Gears of War in 2025? So according to insiders, this game could potentially be landing in 2025. And really, I'm going to tell you to check out my latest video for a breakdown on this. Leave a comment. You could get featured in this stream. I'm genuinely curious what you guys think about it. There's a lot of moving parts here. The rumored collection of Gears, it being a multi-plat and landing on PlayStation, landing as a surprise, like are they going to do a short marketing window? A lot of moving parts. Take a second, go watch my video. It's only about 4 minutes long, and let me know your thoughts, okay? Because I actually think this could be one of their surprises this year. They've even hinted lately and said that they have some surprises or some things they have not already announced. Now, the second big thing that hit, and I don't really have a trailer for this, according to sources, Valve is working on a VR headset that will land later this year, and it's got a pretty steep price point at $1,200. Now, that price it's going to need, I think, to be a pretty impressive standalone VR device. Like right now, the PSVR 2 and the MetaQuest 3 are in the market as very good VR headsets, and PSVR 2 just announced it's going to get a price drop in March. So you could go buy a PlayStation 5 Pro and a PSVR 2 for less than this headset. Now again, standalone headsets have a very big advantage. I actually enjoyed my MetaQuest 3 for that reason. I could just go stand in a more open spot in my house and didn't have to be like tethered to a PC or my PlayStation. So this Valve headset could end up being very impressive, but at $1,200, it's going to have to be awesome, because that is quite a bit higher than some of the other leading headsets in the market. VR is a tough sell, honestly. You got to buy more equipment. Some folks are very sensitive to it, or they just don't like it. Maybe they just don't like wearing something on their face. And more gifted members continue to come in. I will thank you guys in a moment for that. You guys are going insane. It's like a challenge. You want to gift as many members as you can before I'm done with the show open. See how many you can get. You guys are nuts. So we'll see how that goes. Now, the next bit of news is things that are coming in 2025. Dragon Age Veilguard is coming to PlayStation Plus next month. Now, you might see this as good or bad. This is likely related to the game not having great commercial success. I continue to think that people really overstated the whole go woke, go broke. I know that hurt the game's reception. I know that hurt the game's likability. I actually think they completely bumbled the marketing with this game. That very first story trailer and then the gameplay trailer were honestly some of the worst trailers I've ever seen for a game. They really framed up this game in a bad way for long-standing fans as well as anybody else. So I don't think this game did very well commercially, and it was a pretty self-inflicted wound, which is unfortunate because a lot of people did enjoy the game. I got about 25 hours in, and I felt like the combat just started to get really annoying and grating. Boss fights took forever. Enemies were very spammy. So in general, I felt that the game kind of fell off the rails for me. The story was a little bit too uninteresting to keep me going. and so I put it down. So this could be good though, right? This could be good. For those of you that have been kind of on the fence and you're like, I don't know if I want to buy it, I don't know if I want to play it. Well, Dragon Age The Veilguard is going to be on PS Plus next month. You could take it for a spin, but be warned, a lot of people hit the same rough edge I did about 20 to 25 hours in, and there is some incredibly cringy dialogue. There's a character in the game, Tash, right there, they just showed them. I don't even think they should be in the game. I think they're one of the worst written characters, worst voice-acted characters, like in the history of games that I have played. It was so forced and so terrible. I've interacted with and been friends with non-binary persons, and this game does them a giant disservice. It makes them seem like incredibly, petulant, stupid, and self-centered. It's awful. It's truly awful. I'm still surprised they did it. So, Dragon Age Veilguard coming to PS Plus could be a big win for you if you've been wanting to try it out, but not necessarily buy the game. Now, as far as other big things coming in 2025, this continues to be a big thing, which is Call of Duty skill-based matchmaking getting exposed for what we've always said it was. Insider Gaming got to do an interview with the developer behind Call of Duty skill-based matchmaking. Tom Henderson is currently on Twitter taking questions from the public. This is going to be a continued discussion that they will do again, so be sure to submit those questions to Tom Henderson and his outfit, Insider Gaming. I think are doing great work. Now, for some of us, none of what was said in this interview was surprising. Just some brief revelations like, players in the middle of the skill range have the worst experience. I've said that. That's me, and it's terrible. It basically punishes you if you get better. It makes it really hard to tell that you're improving because anytime you show signs of improvement, it just puts you against harder enemies. It's designed to keep roughly half of the player base from quitting because roughly half of the player base is so god-awful at the game. Now, these are things the dev readily admitted. So I'm going to do a deeper dive in a video about this because it's quite vindicating to hear this after I've been saying these things for literal years on the subject and have received a lot of hate and a lot of criticism for my thoughts on skill-based matchmaking. I'm more of a mediocre, more mid-lane player. I'm a 1.0 KD player, and I've always said that skill-based matchmaking is just a terrible, terrible experience for people like me. So be on the lookout for that video. I want to do a deeper dive on how skill-based matchmaking is being exposed, and that is ongoing as there is going to be questions being submitted from the public in a further interview as well. Now, as always, I've got a game for your wish list and your radar, and this one, Yoshida said on Twitter that he thinks this is going to be the game of the year. This one's called Blueprints. And we recently just saw it, and I literally just caught the double entendre, blueprints. Literally sounds like I'm saying blueprint, like a blueprint for a building. That is hilarious and kind of adorable. Anyway, I can't believe I just caught that. This game is coming to the Xbox Series consoles, Steam, and PlayStation 5 on April the 10th. There is currently a demo on Steam. I checked PlayStation. There is no demo there. I'm not sure if there's a demo on Xbox or not. This is a single-player strategy puzzle adventure game, and again, Yoshida thinks it's going to be Game of the Year. The premise of the game actually sounds really creative. This is what they say. You progress each day. Your progress each day is shaped by the rooms that you select to draft and the tools you find within them. Items in the game can be used in a number of creative ways to fuel your exploration deeper into the house, allowing you to adopt unique strategies to combat the challenges that each day brings. But tread wisely. The house resets each dawn, erasing all of the permanent upgrades to your estate blueprint. That is, if you were clever enough to find one. So, wishlist it now or check out the demo on Steam. So it erases everything but those permanent upgrades. So what you're trying to do is seems like it's a little bit like a rogue. You're trying to puzzle your way through the house and find permanent upgrades. So I actually am really interested in this game. I think it looks really cool. So just a quick recap, we're hearing rumors that Gears of War E-Day is coming in 2025. Valve is allegedly bringing a VR headset in 2025 at a steep price point. Dragon Age Veilguard's landing on PS Plus next month. PSVR 2 is seeing a price drop next month. And Call of Duty skill-based matchmaking, well, there's an interview making the rounds that is really exposing what it's actually doing to your experience. And if you are here in the live audience, that's the live news for you. And now it's time for the live discussion. So make sure you guys are smashing that like button. You just got us 100 likes. Get us to 200. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And wasting no time, right there in the beginning of the stream, we got a 20 bomb from Mash. Han shot first, and so did you. Mash just bringing the heat, but lately he's had a lot of help. And a single gifted came in from Joker Quinn. And then Space Jockey signed up brand new yesterday with a member plus, helping us hit that larger goal, and is now doing a 5 bomb as well, and gets us to 393, and then that's going to become 394 because nobody renewed their membership for 35 months, said Loving Monster Hunter. I will be diving into Monhun tomorrow. Thank you so much, everybody who continues to support the stream with your daily viewership and your support. Today's viewership is probably going to be bad. YouTube is being terrible. Scheduling the stream was glitchy and buggy. It would not let me schedule it. I had to schedule it private and then change the settings on the dashboard instead of the stream itself. So I guarantee you this stream is not going to go out to the public like it's supposed to. It's probably glitched. Most of you came from the members stream of Morning Coffee. So we'll see if we can have a good day, but YouTube's acting really, really strange again today. The entire flow of scheduling a stream was basically broken this morning. I could not schedule the stream. So probably not going to have a lot of people here. We'll see. We'll see. Spirits with a 21-month VIP renewal gets it to 95, but then it's going to be 96 because TJ Rage gifts a member. Who cares about the view count if the member count just keep... Oops, that is not what I meant to do. That is meant to be 6. There we go. And a 50 bomb from Hollow Judgment. Unreal. We've had a couple of people coming in lately trying to flex and make it seem as though Mash is not the only person that can drop the big member bombs and drives us all the way to 446. Unbelievable. We had a couple of 50 bombs already this week from Pathalon, Phoenix, and Mash, and now we get a 50 bomb from Hollow Judgment. That is a big one. That'll certainly maybe bring some viewers in. Good golly, we are pacing very much behind on viewership. I genuinely think this stream did not go out the way it was supposed to. I could tell when I scheduled it, but we're just gonna have a day regardless. There's nothing we can do about it. YouTube's gonna YouTube, and we're gonna be generous as we always are. Right now, I owe you guys, I don't even know. I'll have to go back to the beginning of the stream to see what the member count was. I'm not even sure where it was to know how many I owe you. Good morning, feed. I see you in the chat. And a 10 bomb from Pathalon Phoenix says, I'm still here and I'm still gifting. And he bumps the line to 456. Thank you so much. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you so much for coming in. And just continuing to gift, Pathalon. You have been, hanging out recently and just blessing folks. I think you're on your second month of membership and just absolutely pouring on the generosity. Thank you so much. Kevin says, my memory is coming back. We talked indie. Oh, you guys talking about different games. What even is the point of making skill-based matchmaking so bad? What do the developers gain? Well, I mean, the interview made something abundantly clear, Brett. About half of the player base would quit if it wasn't for skill-based matchmaking. About half. So you have to consider something. That's money motivated. That skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty it's the same everywhere, okay? We don't need to single out Call of Duty, but Call of Duty is the one, the developer from Call of Duty is the one that did the interview, okay? So this guy does the interview and he basically says, listen, 40% of the audience would quit if it wasn't for skill-based matchmaking. You don't believe that? Ooh, I forgot to set the super chat goal. I'm so sorry. Hang on. Charles Hawks gift doing a super chat. Let me go ahead and set that. I will gift a member. Every 5 super chats, I gift a member back to the community to say thank you. And a 20 bomb from Mash. We have an insane member train happening right now. 476. You're going to get your Madam stream again tomorrow night. We're going to be playing Monster Hunter. I don't know if Hilly's going to join us, but I'm going to play with Hilly in the afternoon. And then I'll be playing Monster Hunter with Madam tomorrow night. And think of some fun modifiers, right? Think of some fun modifiers we could do with that stream. Charles Hawks $5 super chat says, I had 3,000 hours in Warzone, a 1.9 KD, and finished a nuke contract. I quit before Black Ops 6, and gaming is fun again. Skill-based matchmaking screws with my mental health. I do not disagree. Hilly says yes. Hilly, are you going to play with us? Oh my gosh. How many people can play? I mean, in a team, is it 3? I feel like it's 3. Oh, you can play in the afternoon. Yeah, let's just play in the afternoon, and then Madam and I can play that night. That's perfect. All right, some folks are piling in here. If you didn't get the notification for this stream, YouTube was being really squirrely this morning. I almost couldn't even schedule this. Make sure as you guys come in, go through the ritual, hit like. That can really help the video turn around. YouTube was acting up this morning. Lazaro with 25 months on a membership says, get the likes up. Skill-based matchmaking is so bad, says TJ Rage. Lono's going to lose count on how many members he owes us. No, I'll just go back to the beginning of the stream and see how many you guys added. I'll be able to figure it out. Don't worry. Don't worry. Here's the thing. Skill-based matchmaking is money motivated. And I get it. I 100% get it. They're looking at their player base and they're like, over 40% of you are so terrible that if we don't protect you, you're going to quit. You're not going to keep playing. Okay? So I get it. They're basically saying you would shrink your player base very quickly if you just got rid of skill-based matchmaking. They did it for a while, and they saw quit rates go up. Do you want to know why the quit rates went up? There's lots of people that are really, really bad. And if they play a couple of games in a row, and they die a lot, and they don't win, they're going to think, why am I playing this? I'm quitting. I'm not playing for the rest of the day. I'm not playing for the rest of the evening, whatever. And here's the problem. It's all a matter of perspective. If you are a really bad player, you are going to think I'm a god, and I'm not. I'm like a 1.0 KD. I'm mediocre. My mediocrity is godlike to a really bad player. So they can't let me play against them for very long. Yo, $5 super chat from Mike on a mic. Good morning, y'all. Sipping on some Reforge roast. Listen, if you guys want to support the stream and you're like, you don't want to do the super chats, you don't want to gift members, right? If you want to support the stream, really great way to do that, especially if you're a coffee drinker, head over to reforgeroast.com. If you head over there, order a bag of light roast or dark roast or our medium roast. It supports me directly. This is not a sponsor. This is in my house right now. Let me grab a bag. There we go. We got the light roast here. Light roast is the great introductory coffee for non-coffee drinkers. All of our coffee features balanced acidity, which makes it very, very drinkable and very, very smooth. So thank you so much, Mike on the mic, for that little $5 super chat commercial and a $10 super chat from my man, Dark Taco. NVIDIA reported record quarterly revenue of $39.3 billion, up 12% from quarter 3. Life is good. Hey man, I bought some of that NVIDIA, right? I bought some of that NVIDIA, so hopefully the shares the share value goes up, right? It's great they're getting it's great that they're getting their quarterly reports, but it didn't start off too great today. Astrobot's latest challenge level is live. It's called Cockadoodle Doom. There you go. Wait, Cockadoodle Doom? Are you going to be able to get Doom Guy? Is Doom Guy literally going to be the bot from that level, or are they just calling it Cockadoodle Doom because you have to use the chicken? I'm curious though if Doom Guy is going to be in there. Do they have a blog post about it or a video about it? No, the link just takes you to the Astrobot thing. Listening to gamers. Yeah, if anybody wants to signal boost that tweet that I sent out this morning, that guy, holy crap, that's just so dishonest. He's trying to make it seem like CD Projekt Red responded to player feedback and changed the appearance of Siri, and that is 100% not true. That is incredibly dishonest. Really, really tired of industry professionals and folks out there just saying things that are flat out not true. And a member VIP from Rich Rod adds to the total. That's 24 months. That is 2 years. That's a red badge. Does skill-based matchmaking go by the worst player of your party? When I play with my son, I wreck all the suckers in the match. I played in my party with a guy who gets a 3.1, and I was playing 1.0 KD. AKB equals disgusting. Here's the thing. We're going to do a deep dive video on it because the Insider Gaming article basically breaks it down and talks about essentially what they do is they try to gauge your skill level, and they will put you on a team with bad players. They will put you against better players. They're essentially trying to make sure that if you're good, you don't go and ruin somebody else's day. It's essentially what they're always trying to do. I forgot to tweet out my my live stream. I'm going to do that now. So they're basically saying, hey, you're good, we think you're this good, and this is the experience we think you should have. And then they look at people and they're like, hey, you're really bad, we don't want you to quit, we want you to keep playing, so we're going to give you this experience, right? And so I think in general, you've got, you know, the average gamer jumping in the game and has no idea why these things are happening. Like, one of the things that came out of the interview was that you don't know what your current MMR is, so you don't understand what's going on. You don't understand why you're getting, and he talked about this, why you're getting what I've always referred to as skill-based matchmaking whiplash. People in the middle of the skill threshold end up feeling the whiplash the worst. I'm good. You end up feeling the whiplash the worst. Okay. So if that's the case, then you have no idea why you're feeling it. They don't tell you what your MMR is. They don't tell you why you're being placed in the ranking threshold that you're being placed. It's not like you can go look at your stats and be like, oh, this is my current rank and here's why. It's just, holy crap, I absolutely shellacked a bunch of brain dead bots that didn't shoot back, and now I'm playing against people that are godlike. Like, there's no in between. They put matchmaking over ping also. Yeah, like, they're just, the way that I've always explained skill-based matchmaking is it's essentially worried about one particular player pool's experience at the cost of mine. That's essentially what they do. They look at that 40% of really bad players and they say, listen, we have to care about their experience more than someone like Lono. Why? There's not a lot of people like me. I'm right in the middle of the pack, and I think I'm in the minority. I think the really high-skilled players are up here, and they can generally overcome it, even though it's exhausting. And then there's this batch down here that's really, really bad. And then there's the rest of us in the middle that are just like, this is not fun at all. We either play really bad players, put up good stats, and then we get shot up here with the really good players, and there's no in-between. It's like, it's not satisfying to kill 8 people in a row that are barely shooting back, and then in the very next game, go negative on my KD. Neither of those experiences are very fun. You don't feel like you're really expressing your skill by just steamrolling people who can't even play. It's like, there's no satisfaction in that. I'm not like, because people always say, oh, you don't like skill-based matchmaking because you want to stomp on noobs. It's like, no, I stomp on noobs and it's not fun. And then that's used against me. It's like, well, you posted good stats, you must be a good player. It's like, no. Skill-based matchmaking feels like it just creates 2 buckets of players. It thinks that you're either really bad or really good. And when you're a very mediocre player like me, I'm neither of those things. I've been playing first-person shooters since Doom, so I'm going to be very adequate and fairly proficient in pretty much any shooter that you put me in, right? Like, if you've grown up playing fighting games, you can probably jump into pretty much any fighting game and be decently proficient. And maybe even good. So I'm going to be proficient to good. I'm going to land in that hemisphere. So I'm not terrible, and I'm not a pro. I'm just like right here in the middle. And what you do is you're like, here, go play with the bad players. Oh, you're not a bad player. Here, go play with the good players. Oh, you're not a good player. Fing, 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 fing. And you just bounce back and forth. And it's like, I'm done. I don't want to play. I'm good. That's not a fun experience, and I stop playing. People are like, you need to get good. No, I need to get another game. That's my answer to the problem. My answer is that I just need to get another game. This isn't fun. Why would I do this? Team Ambush with 22 months bumps the line to 478. An insane member count. 477. An insane member count already. Guys, remember, upgrades and brand new memberships, if you pick a Member Plus or a VIP, those count as 2. We are so stinking close to our goal and our milestone of getting to 600 people at Member Plus and above. I'm trying to see what we started out with members. We started with 367. Okay, so I owe you a 20 bomb. I'm just going to do a 20 bomb right now. Let's just keep the momentum going. The turnout's a little light today. YouTube was acting up. This video did not at all. It's 478. You didn't count mine. Oh, I'm so sorry, Rich Rod. I'll bump it to 478, and then I'll bump it to 479. because now Abe is coming in. Long time no see, Abe, you loser. Just kidding. Love you, man. 47 months, dude. Almost 4 years. Monthly check-in stuff, everyone. Good to see you, Abe. Hope you're well. Hope the little one's well. Maybe you're getting some regular sleep now. And there it is. There's 20 members from me. And that is what I owe you. Every 25 members, I owe you guys some members. Thank you very, very much. COD is all about how much money they can get out of you. Exactly. And they know that their revenue is going to be better. They know that their revenue is going to be healthier if they keep the really bad players from quitting. They know they're not going to get any money from me. They don't care about me. I'm not a no-lifer. I'm not a pro. I'm not an addict. I'm not a hardcore. I'm not a committed player. I'm not. You know? Yeah, 600 Member Plus is the reverse sear stream. Yes, we'll do an IRL stream, and I will show you guys how I reverse sear my steak. It will be fabulous. We'll be very, very careful. I know how to do it, and I'll do it with my phone. We'll do an IRL stream, and I will show you guys how I do it. It'll be hilarious and fun, and we're the closest that we have ever been. We need like 15 people to sign up or upgrade. It's never been that low. It's never been like, I'm sorry, that small of an amount. And a 10 bomb from Abe. He says, I'm here for a short time, but I can still be generous. And he takes us to 489. Thank you so much, Abe. Ketchup. I am not going to be doing ketchup on this reverse here. I almost never buy steak for myself because it's just way too expensive. I just can't justify it. And so if I'm going to buy one, I am certainly not going to ruin it. I'm certainly not going to ruin it with ketchup like we did that one time. So COD, even though it's just cosmetics, really is just pay to win. I buy my son a bunch of COD points, so they're probably like, darn, we need to cater to this kid. I don't know if there's been any revelations about that, Rich Rod. I'm not trying to indicate, and MASH puts us on the doorstep of 500 and gets us to 499 with a 10 bomb. Somebody's going to steal the glory here with a single gifted and get us to 500. And then we need some kind of a stretch goal. I'll be playing Monster Hunter Wilds with Madam tomorrow night, and we need a stretch goal. What do you want to make me do? It's not even Friday yet. And Abe's going to land the plane and secure the 500 members for the week. You guys just hit it on a Thursday. You hit it on a Thursday. And there it is. Hezekiah Taylor does a member plus. That is an agent of chaos. And guess what? It counts as 2. Member pluses count as 2 when it's an upgrade or a brand new. Thank you so much, man. Oh my gosh, we're so stinking close. This is the closest we have ever been to the milestone that we're shooting for. 600 people at member plus and above. Thank you very, very much, Hezekiah. What a fun name to say. There's no such thing as skill-based matchmaking. It's EOMM. Well, Con John, here's the thing. There's no reason to be, like, pedantic about it. When we say skill-based matchmaking, everybody knows what you mean. Like, we don't need to be like, well, what it really is this. I mean, skill-based matchmaking is what we call it. It's the colloquialism that we use. If I start saying EOMM, people are going to be like, what's that? And every single time I'm going to have to tell them what I mean. That just makes communication extremely difficult. You know what I mean? The likes are criminally low. We need 200 likes. We're 25 likes away. Raziel the Great's calling you guys out. Don't tell us how pedantic to be. Much love from an Xbox fan. Awesome stream. I appreciate that. Listen, I know the Xbox guys, they don't like some of my takes. They don't like what I say, but I feel like I've just done nothing but shoot straight about Xbox for the last couple of years, and it's gotten me a lot of hate. You know? Amskin, we figured out your coffee order, by the way. I got it printed. Engnarts with the member plus renewal bumps the line to 503. 503. Someone said in chat earlier, the modern day gamer really only plays COD, Madden, 2K, Apex, Fortnite, and GTA. That is why they think gaming sucks. Trying new experience just doesn't do it for them. Stretch goal is to use Charge Blade. Okay, you guys can tell me what to use in the game in Monster Hunter. Why are you going to make me use the Charge Blade? Is it like really, really difficult to use? My pedanticism knows no satiety. Is that how you say it? Satiety? YouTube is crapping itself today. Mobile YouTube is no fun. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I really don't. Check and see if there's an update for the app. Scheduling this stream today was a nightmare. Charge Blade is good, but technical. Satiety? It's pronounced satiety. Satiety. I don't think I've ever seen... Hunting Horn. Hunting Horn? Why are you guys going to make me use the Hunting Horn? Is it bad? It sounds like you guys want me to have a bad time. That's what it sounds like to me. I started my gaming life on PlayStation 1, says Raziel. My uncle still had his from 96, LOL. But then I got a 360 and I was hooked to Xbox. Used to be a stand until 2021, then reality began to sink in. I think a lot of people have come to that conclusion and they've joined here for that reason, because they're like, you know, they basically agree with me, or they're doing what I did. Mash says, I'm an Xbox gamer and in multiple other gaming channels, most of which are Xbox centric. It's a nice mix here. I appreciate that, Mash. And a 5 bomb from Nobody says, let's make this man use the Hunting Horn or the Charge Blade so you guys can dictate what I use in the Monhun stream with Madam tomorrow night. Do yourself a favor and use the bow, I promise. I'm new to Monhun and I use the bow in the beta, the most comfy I felt. Nobody out here for the gifted subs. That's what I'm saying, man. You guys are just bringing the love. Make Lono use whatever is opposite of his play style. Make him use dodges. Well, if you guys hit the stretch goal, you can determine what I play with in Monhun tomorrow night with Madam. Thank you for 200 likes, and thank you for continuing to gift members. As Wired Rope says, let's keep the train going, and gets us to 513. This is why it is so important that people decide to pick up Member Plus and upgrade, so that this generosity goes to new people. So many people blessing others in this community every single day. Just make Lono use inverse control. He seems to love that. Yeah, I'm okay with letting you guys choose my weapons. Inverse controls is so frustrating. I can't do it. I can't do it. If you can make that a secondary stretch goal. I can't make that the primary stretch goal. You guys too consistently hit them. Couple of comments on my Gears of War video. Mash left a comment and he says, I'm not a fan of how many Xbox first-party titles are getting delayed or launching with missing features or buggy. Maybe showing early roadmaps engages people, but what use is that if they don't deliver? I no longer get excited at Xbox shows, as I know more likely than not they are massively overselling what is likely to come. Hoping Gears can break that trend along with Doom. I really think they could break that trend this year. I think Doom could land super strong. If Gears is a surprise this year, it could land really strong. A guy named John Doe says it'll probably be crap just like Gears 4 and 5. I didn't like 4, but loved Gears 5. I actually really liked Gears 5. I stopped playing Gears 4, and I was like, you know what? I've played this game before. You know? I've played this game before, and I don't want to play it again. You know? It's, to me, it's like they didn't do enough with the combat in Gears 4, but then Gears 5, I felt like they really opened it up, and it changed and felt good. You know? It's like, I literally remember I was down in like a lower area in Gears 4, and I was getting in a fight with one of those guys they use like the charge bow or whatever the frick it's called. I'm not a big Gears guy. I've played them all, but I don't know the names of almost anything, right? And I was like, I played this game before. And a 5-bomb comes in from King Troopa. We have a 5-bomb train going on right now. Nobody did a 5-bomb. And then Wired Rope did a 5-bomb. And now King Troopa is gonna do a 5 gifted member bomb. Join in. You guys can skyrocket the member count. You don't need the big boys to drop bombs, dude. Those 5 bombs add up. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for a great turnout. With YouTube acting up, I know it can be frustrating, and I'm glad you guys are here. Keep the train going, says King Troopa. Satya, the whole slate, Nadella comes in again and says the whole slate. They are very consistent. They are very consistent. And another 5-bomb comes in from Cat Uncle. Let's see how many we can get. We should probably start keeping a record of our longest train. I forget the single gifted train. It was like 30 or something. But now we've got 4 5 bombs in a row. Thank you so much, Cat Uncle. I got like $20 worth of star points. Definitely going to buy Monhunt tomorrow. Yo, what's good, Derek? Good to see you. My time's like 75% Xbox, says MASH. The rest break down between mostly Switch and a little PC. I did buy a PS5 for Spider-Man, but then I gave it to my cousin. Next gen probably on PlayStation. Yeah, MASH is pretty regularly said. Yeah, torque bow. That's it, the torque bow. Yeah. So he was like aiming that torque bow at me, and I was aiming at him, and I was just like, I've played this game before. It didn't feel new. It didn't feel different. Now, when I played Gears 5, I was like, this is a good evolution. And another 5 bomb. The 5 bomb train continues and gets us to 528. Jack Garland has added. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bombs in a row. Thank you so much, Jack Garland and King Troopa and Cat Uncle and Wired Rope and On Nobody. Unbelievable show of generosity and force today. Great like count, great view count. So many people piling in. Thank you so much for being here. We're talking about pretty much anything going on in gaming news. So hit subscribe. That's totally free to do. Turn on your notifications. Guys, everybody double check your notification bell. Make sure it's set to all. YouTube went a little crazy, and it was putting my members' content on your homepage. It was recommending old members' content. We're having to go and change the way we funnel our members' content, and a lot of you stop seeing my content because of it. So we're making some updates so that you don't get overwhelmed. I really only need you seeing the live shows and the uploads. That's all that really matters. Torque bow is one of the best weapons in all of gaming. I wouldn't ever want it to feel different. It wasn't that I wanted the torque bow to feel different. It was that I was crouched behind a wall, he was crouched behind a wall, and I was like, I've played this game before. I wasn't using the torque bow. I didn't say anything about the torque bow needing to feel different. I was saying, I've played this game before. It didn't feel new, didn't feel fresh. They completely changed the flow of combat and the feeling in Gears 5. It didn't always feel like a predetermined goofy set piece. They added new mechanics. They added a new flow. You could use Jack, Jack, get this door open. You know what I mean? Like, I liked it. I really, really felt that Gears 5 opened things up. Now, near the end, they went back to the more traditional Gears sort of daisy chain set pieces, but it was totally fine. I got the notification around the time that you went live after 22 minutes of me already being in the chat. There you go. What's up with the GTA 6 maker terms of service they're talking about on March 28th? Yeah, they're going to make everybody agree to a new terms of service on March 28th. I didn't run with that. I don't think that's anything. Anytime they do anything with GTA now, we're getting into these conspiracy theories and stuff. If I feel like somebody's got a good theory, or if I feel like there's a genuine good development, then I'll cover it. But I didn't think that was worth covering. I'm trying not to go to the GTA 6 well too often. I know it brings lots of people in. I know people are super interested, but it needs to be substantive. It needs to have some meat on the bones, or I'm not covering it, because I didn't think there was much to that. So, would you recommend playing Dragon Age now on PlayStation Plus? So yeah, that's obviously on the thumbnail, and that's obviously one of the topics today. My thoughts on Dragon Age Veilguard are, it's got cringy writing and not the greatest story. There's some good writing and some good characters, but you got to eat around the bad ones. And the combat is fun, and lots of people have enjoyed it, but around 20 to 25 hours, I got really fed up with it and wasn't enjoying it. So you've got to kind of take that for what it's worth, if that helps you make a decision. Raziel the Great with 12 months. Reforge, you're an elite talent, putting in work daily. You give us facts. You don't pander to feelings. Thank you for all you do. Hit that like. 5 bomb for life. Thank you so much, Raziel, dude. I appreciate that. The 5 bomb train is still alive at the top of the chat. We had 5 gifted 5 bombs in a row. We're trying to see how many we can get before they fall off the top. You got a little bit of time before that first one drops. Let's see. Whose is it? Yeah. What is it? On Nobody's is about to drop. We will see if you guys can keep it going. What's good, Javier Cotto? Good to see you. I start thinking that Rockstar is overusing these tactics, which is frustrating. Yeah, I don't like giving into it. I don't like, feeding that machine. I mean, obviously, I have to play the game. I'm reporting on gaming news, and if GTA 6 or Rockstar or anybody like that, if they make a nudge or a move, I kind of have to, talk about it. And that's 6 in a row. MASH keeps the 5-bomb train going, and there it is. 5 bombs in a row. We're at 533. And Kaiser Soze jumps back in as a member plus. Is that a renewal or an upgrade, Kaiser? Because if it's an upgrade, it counts as 2. And, buddy, you might have just pushed us to a new record on member plus and above. Let me go ahead and check here on the back end. You guys continue. 585. I'm pretty sure that is the highest yes, that's the highest we've ever been. 585. We are officially 15 people away from the milestone. Renewal? Okay, it was a renewal. But still, you jumping back in pushed the count up. So we're going to go to 534. There we go. We are so close. Oh my gosh, 15 people. 15 people. All right, for the member train, this is what we'll do. It can't be the first one of the member train falling off. MASH is the last one. So when his falls off, the train stops. And Rizik's going to up the ante with the 10 bomb and take us to 544. And a VIP is going to take us to 545. We got a renewal coming in from Po Buddies Nerfect. Such a great name. We are now a 5-bomb away from 550 and keeping the 5-bomb train going. We'll count Rizik's. Rizik's basically number 7 in the count. And thank you, Po Buddies Nerfect, for continuing your support as well. Florence Pugh stuns a new picture. Good golly. What is this? What's going on, Treble? How are you? Rockstar knows that they have us buy the fruit baskets. That's why they do it. Yeah, I mean, I think in general, they know that they can kind of play these games. But here's the truth, okay? Here's the truth. Eventually, the marketing has to start. You know what I'm saying? And a member plus comes in from Scotty B. So close to the 3-year badge. 34 months. Thank you. And the member train continues and gets us to 551. A 5-bomb comes in from Narwaffle. That's 8 5-bombs in a row, or 8 gifted bombs in a row. Thank you so much, Narwaffle. We'll count anything 5 and up. We'll count anything 5 and up in this train. So that's number 8. That is number 8. Did your call with YouTube go well? Yeah, it was great. It was great. They've got some good ideas. I was able to give them some good feedback on some tools for the back end. It was a good call. M. Lippy jumps back in with a member plus. Is that a renewal or an upgrade, M. Lippy? Let me know. It says that you upgraded 0 days ago, and it is. It's an upgrade. We're now 14 away. Thank you, M. Lippy. That counts as 2, 553. You guys are incredible. We are 14 people away. We need 14 people to sign up brand new Member Plus or upgrade to Member Plus. Man, oh man, we're close. The closest we have ever been. That record keeps climbing every day. Thank you so much, M. Lippy, for jumping in. When you guys jump into Member Plus, you're like, what's the big deal? It's $1 more. Who cares? It's you getting out of the gifted pool. You're basically making room for somebody else. Get out of the gifted pool, man, if you can. If you can't, we're happy to have you here. We're glad you're getting those gifteds. And a $5 super chat from Super Gaming says, why? Member Plus may not give a plus to your member. What? And a $5 super chat from Super Gaming says no. He says, why? No. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see what's Super Gaming doing. He's doing a spaced out super chat. Maybe he's gonna do why no confetto. That's my guess. I'm guessing. It's a guessing game here. It's like a game show. Why no confetto? I got it. Why no confetto? Thank you so much, Super Gaming. I will reset the super chat goal and I will add to the member count. This is the one time you can get me to add to the member count, and that bumps it to 554. I owe you guys a single. I'm not sure what I owe you for the rest. I think once we get to stretch, I start losing track because you guys just start going crazy. So thank you so much. A great way to support what we do right now, if you haven't done so already, is to hit that like button. Thank you guys so much. Let's set our sights on 300 likes. And there's the single that I owed you. Could have been like 4 years, but someone switched channels. Hey, Scotty. Come on, dude. We don't like to talk about that, man. I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice, Scotty. Holy mackerel. There it is. So, what were we talking about? The freaking member train has just been going crazy. We're at like 8. Yeah, we're at 8 on the member train. What were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about Gears. Yeah, my hope for Gears of War E-Day is that somehow doing a prequel, they're able to make it feel fresh, make it feel new, right? The danger would be it's just a bunch of weapons we're familiar with and fighting style that we're familiar with. And I think you always have to have that to some degree. There has to be some level of familiarity. Weapons, environments, enemies, etc. It all has to feel at some level familiar. But you got to be careful. It can't just be like, oh, it's just another Gears game. You guys broke the gifting, by the way. Like, Narwaffles are just now hitting. Mine hasn't even hit yet. The same but different. Right. It's got to be the same but different, and it's got to be something that is... And this is something they're really going to try to do, I think. They're going to try to capture both long-standing fans and new fans. Recapture the shock and the grit from Gears 1 and 2. A prequel done right's a chance for people to experience something fresh. I also think they're trying to, they want, obviously we're hearing from Xbox insiders that would not make this up. They have no reason to lie about this. But, Xbox insiders making it pretty clear that this thing's coming to PlayStation. Well, you go back and do a prequel, that's a really great time to bring the game to another platform. That's a really great time to introduce new people to it and to say, hey, you've been on PlayStation this whole time and maybe you've never played Gears. You've sort of, looked at Gears of War from afar. That's a great way to get people into your franchise with a prequel. They get introduced to all the characters that you know and love, the characters that you're super familiar with, and I think that's a solid move, for them to do that. I'm checking on this this tweet here. I want to see this I'm actually gonna request a community note on this guy's Witcher tweet, because I think my tweet is factual and his is not. So I'm actually gonna request a community note, and I'm gonna link to my tweet, because I think his tweet about changing Siri is dishonest. So I'm gonna agree and request a note. So if you guys ever are following me on Twitter and you see a tweet like that, give me some love, give me some retweets, give me some boost there. That it's interesting to be the CEO of a company and to do something like that. To just lean into dishonesty. I can't imagine how many more people will play it because they didn't have Xboxes 13 years ago. Well, here's the thing you have to understand. Twitter narc. I'm totally a Twitter narc when it comes to honesty. Yes, if you're going to say something false, I'm going to call you on it. You're the CEO of a company. He's the CEO of the company that made Lords of the Fallen, and you're out here lying about The Witcher. Shut the frick up. You know what I'm saying? If anybody has ever needed to be told that they sound like their profile picture, it's that guy. I would say that Gears stands to do very well on PlayStation. I think people know the franchise. I think it fits within what PlayStation fans like. It really does. I mean, it's third person, gritty, there's guns. I think it stands to do very well. Vix Vapor with a member plus. I don't know if that's an upgrade or a renewal, so I'm going to check. Thank you so much, Vix Vapor. You guys have a little bit of time before the 5-bomb train ends. Narwaffle's gift is going to fall off soon. We're currently at 8. No, I'm sorry. We're at 9. We had 9 bombs in a row. We are at 587. Vix Vapor that's an upgrade. That bumps us to 556. That's a double. Thank you so much for upgrading. We are now 13 people away from the goal. We need 13 people to upgrade to Member Plus, man. So many of you have done that recently. Thank you so much. Gears is going to be one of the best-selling games on PlayStation. I actually said this. I said this a while ago. If you're going to measure which game has the most potential, which game could do the best on PlayStation, I think Gears could be stronger on PlayStation than Halo. I think Gears would appeal to the PlayStation audience more than a Halo would. Now, Halo could, right? Halo could do incredibly well. Why? Well, you've got the chance to make a really, really strong impression building it in Unreal and, you know, having a new team and having new talent and having new vision. So the new Halo could certainly crush, but I'm here to tell you, dude, Gears is got that thing. It's, you know what I mean? Oh, you were going to upgrade to VIP. Hezekiah, I'm going to let you double dip. That gets us to 558. So I'm going to help you. You just impacted the count here. I can't adjust the count on the back end. That's not something I can do. This just determines how often I give back. This is just a fun community incentive. I really appreciate you jumping up to VIP. We still need 13 people at Member Plus and above. 13 more to hit that milestone. So stinking close. I disagree. Sony players love competitive shooters. I think Halo over time will fare better than Gears. Gears will win short term, though. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't think when you say that, what you're saying is you're referring to Call of Duty players. I don't think all of those Call of Duty players on PlayStation are going to be like, yo, I can't wait to play Halo. They're just very different. They're very different games. I'm telling you, I think Gears will crush. I think it will absolutely crush on PlayStation. It will do very, very well. Halo fans never left Xbox. I bet a bunch of Gears fans did. Not just that, I think potential new Gears of War fans are a very, very high amount. A very, very high amount on PlayStation. There's probably a ton of people on PlayStation that will be like, yo, that game is sick. I want to play that. Or like what Eugene is saying, like, you know, maybe they were a Gears fan and they left Xbox to go to PlayStation. But like, I don't really think Halo is going to be this monumental tour de force on PlayStation unless, track with me here, this is something that I've talked about a lot. I think they really need to kind of reinvent the game a little bit. You need that moment that Doom had, like Doom 2016 honored the past, but it wasn't tethered to it. I think Halo needs to honor the past, but it can't be tethered to it anymore. If it's just another Halo, and it feels like Halo, and it looks like Halo, and we're using the same weapons, and we're fighting the same enemies, just in a new engine, I think PlayStation users will be like, yeah, it's just another Halo. You have to think about it like this. If you are not a fan of Halo right now, you're not just going to become a fan of Halo because it's in a new engine. Does that make sense? That's true of any game. Pick any game. I'm not picking on Halo. Let's say you're not a fan of Call of Duty. Let's say you're not a fan of Gears of War. Let's say you're not a fan of Halo. Just pick any of the mainline games that have guns and a long-standing history. They've been around for a long time. Call of Duty, Gears, and Halo have been around for a long, long stinking time. And let's just say you don't like any of them. A new one of those games coming out in a new engine isn't going to change your mind. You're not going to be like, oh, but it's a new engine. Well, does it look and feel like the previous games? Yes, it does. Well, then I'm not going to suddenly become a fan. Halo gameplay is not it in 2025, says Eugene. It wasn't it in 2021. Yeah, I didn't think people came clamoring, to Halo Infinite's multiplayer. There's a lot of revisionist history about Halo and Halo Infinite, and that's fine. You can make up your own fan fiction about how amazing the game was and how successful it was. That's fine. That's not going to change reality. It certainly isn't going to change the future. I don't think they can just launch another Halo and just be like, nope, looks and feels exactly like Halo always has. We just, we modern it up with graphics and a new engine. No, it quite literally needs to look and feel like a new era for the game. I disagree, Lono, about Gears being bigger on PlayStation. I bet my paycheck Halo will sell 5 million on PlayStation off rip. I'll buy it on Switch 2 also. I don't know. I firmly think, and I'm willing to take that bet, I firmly think that Gears will be more commercially successful on PlayStation than Halo will. I do. I think Gears has a stronger pull with the PlayStation user base, given the style of the game, given the feel of the game, especially because it's third person. You got to think about the PlayStation user base. Gears really, really strikes a chord with that user base. I just look at it. It's like it feels like a game PlayStation owners would love. And Halo, I'm telling you, this is one of the reasons I believe this. I think this is one of the reasons that PlayStation has not invested into really doing any more first-person shooter pushes with relationships, deals, exclusivity, partnerships. Why? I'll tell you why. It's because they know the Call of Duty user base isn't going to budge. They know it's wasted effort. All you have to do is look at the super successful, first-person shooters that have tried to come out, and they have a really strong start, and then everybody goes back to Call of Duty. Josh Strife Hayes probably did not mean to make this point in his latest video. It's excellent. It's about our MMOs dying, right? And he's so dapper and handsome, and his voice is like butter. And you should go watch his videos. He's fantastic. I love Josh. Here's the thing, though. He makes a point in his video about communities just sort of shifting around within a genre and how it's not growing if that's all they're really doing. He was basically like, you might see this game come out with something new or a new game come out, and this player base goes down and this player base goes up. And he's like, really what you're dealing with there is just migration. And what they tend to do is they tend to migrate back to the game that they were previously playing. He's like, because you have to offer something them familiar, but also something unique enough to keep them. And I'm like, that's what I've been screaming about live service shooter games. I'm like, if you're going to do a live service shooter game, that's what's going to happen. You're going to get community migration. You're going to have the experience that X Defiant had, where everybody's playing your game and singing its praises, and then they're going to migrate back to home. Because if you're not distinct enough, if you're not unique enough, that's what people are going to do. And I'm looking at shooters, and I'm looking at PlayStation, and PlayStation knows this to be true. It's why they won't back any real big first-person shooter relationships or development. But then look at Helldivers. Helldivers kind of proves the point. It exploded, that people loved it. It is more popular on Steam, but it still did very well on PlayStation and was well received and well reviewed, and people loved it. Why? Third person, new, unique, more bombastic. It doesn't look Call of Duty adjacent. It doesn't look like first-person shooter like every other first-person shooter. Thank you, it's Dominic, for 5 months at Member Lite. You can help us hit a really big goal, you guys. If you're at the Member Lite tier, bump up by $1 and get Member Plus. We need like 13 people to do that today, and we'll hit a goal. We'll hit a huge, huge goal. So I'm applying that logic to Halo versus Gears. Halo versus Gears to me is like, it's like PlayStation choosing between, should we back a first-person shooter or should we back Helldivers 2? Well, you back Helldivers 2 because if you back a shooter, your main audience that you're appealing to is already playing Call of Duty. And I think we learned this in the FTC trial. I think this is when this came out. A huge portion of the PlayStation user base that plays Call of Duty, that's all they play. They don't play anything else. That's why they haven't moved to PlayStation 5. That's why the MAU numbers are growing without the PlayStation 5 sales surpassing PlayStation 4 just yet. Why? Well, you're getting new users into the PlayStation 5 ecosystem, and a lot of the existing users are staying put because they're just freaking playing Call of Duty. That's all they're doing. They're happily turning on their PS4s and PS4 Pros and just playing Warzone. And PlayStation knows that's all they frickin' play. And you put a first-person shooter on the PlayStation ecosystem, and that's the fight that you're fighting. You're fighting against a tide of, well, this is the first-person shooter game that I play. This is kind of home base. So sure, I'll come play your game for a little bit, but then I'm going to go back to Daddy. They're going to go back to COD every single frickin' time. At least in large numbers. Not all of them, but large enough numbers are just going to do that. They're just going to migrate back to home. I think Halo faces a similar problem on PlayStation. Gears does not face that problem. Gears could land on PlayStation and people would say, yo, this is kind of my jam here, this third-person, gritty, action-oriented game. It's not a first-person shooter, and I think that's going to be more appealing. So basically, COD has ruined all hope for first-person shooters. I don't think they've ruined all hope. I just think they've made it incredibly hard. I think they have made it incredibly hard for first-person shooters to be successful. Yeah, I'm not saying only one can survive. You guys are extrapolating an extreme from my position. I'm saying that the pattern is clear. If a game comes out and really strikes at the chord that Call of Duty strikes at, their life expectancy is short. And look at the games that have come out that were first-person shooters that have survived. Apex, very different. They brought heroes to the Battle Royale. Look at Valorant. Valorant is far more Counter-Strike adjacent than Call of Duty adjacent, and what did they do? They brought something new. They brought heroes to the econ-based tactical shooter, okay? So, if you're going to try to come out with like a first-person shooter, it's going to have to be something that people have never seen before. That's going to be really hard to do with Halo, and that's going to be really hard to do with any modern shooter, any game that uses modern weaponry. If I'm shooting an M16 or an Uzi or a rifle of any kind, I'm going to be like, this kind of feels like Call of Duty. Yeah, Metal Eden is an FPS. Yeah, it looks cool. Yeah, and it looks unique, and it looks fun, and it looks sci-fi, and it's also, I don't think, billing itself as PvP or live service. I think it's just a single-player adventure game. Yo, Glassdoor Gamer with a $5 super chat tip says, I think the Bungie FPS engine is better than COD. Always wanted a Modern Warfare game in the Bungie engine. I know COD is number one, but wishful thinking. I mean, I think the Tiger engine is showing its age. I don't know if that engine can go on for forever. I do think it's showing a bit of age. Halo has so much potential still. Halo can innovate as a franchise, but 343 is inept to do it. I don't know. I don't know if it's their fault entirely. I mean, obviously the contractual policies of Microsoft are to blame, but I also just sometimes wonder, is Halo so shackled to an old dev design philosophy that unless you completely jettison away from it, you're always going to be shackled to something that just, I just don't know. It's like, think of it this way. There have been some games that have come out recently that felt a lot like Unreal Tournament and Quake 3 from back in the day, okay? So back in the day, you know, there were games like Quake 3 and Unreal Tournament that had this sort of high-octane, really fast movement arena shooter, okay? And here's the thing. A bunch of games recently have come out that have tried to do that, and they have failed because nobody is wanting that anymore. Nobody. That Rocket League came out, Quake tried to come out, Lawbreakers tried to come out, all these games tried to come out that felt like that era of time, and I got news for you. I think that's an analog. Even Doom is abandoning multiplayer with Doom the Dark Ages because they wanted to focus on the campaign, and again, I think they probably knew there's not a lot of demand for that style of multiplayer anymore. There just isn't. Okay? That's not saying that it's bad, and that's not saying that you shouldn't like it. I'm talking about market demand. I'm talking about a business decision here. So I think that proves, you look at all these games that tried to like smack at that era of time, Quake and Unreal Tournament, and they didn't do well. Nobody played them. Okay? I think that's an analog to Halo. I think Halo and the way Halo looks and feels comes from an era of time that if you make a game that looks and feels like that, it's not going to do very well. It'll appeal to Halo fans and basically nobody else. You have to chart a new path. You have to do something that somebody says, listen, I was never a big fan of Halo, but that looks new and that looks fun. It's just like the games that came out that felt like Quake and Unreal Tournament. It's like nobody's looking for that anymore. That era of time we've kind of moved on from. The thought has entered my head that maybe the reason we aren't hearing Destiny 3 is they are trying to rework Tiger for a few years out. I mean, maybe. Maybe. Well, I believe 343 is going to launch Halo Master Chief Collection on PS5 and Switch 2, and they will tease a new Halo coming down the road. I agree with your sentiment about how Gears is different enough to reel in PlayStation gamers, though. Splitgate had better combat and mechanics, and it didn't last very long. Yeah, and Splitgate 2 is going to come out, and I've got news for you. Splitgate 2 is going to have a real serious problem on their hands about 6 months after they come out. Write it down. I said the same thing about X Defiant, and nobody agreed with me, and they thought I was out of my head. Oh, it's doing well. Lots of people are playing. Well, it's done. You're facing a severe challenge. Severe challenge. Because they're just going to go back home. Always. You know? X Defiant is still doing good. What do you mean? X Defiant got EOL'd. They're shutting it down. They couldn't maintain player bases. They're shutting the game down. I don't have the answer. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. The pattern is clear. The market has landed. And if you want to change that, if you want those tides to turn, it's either going to be slow or absolutely industry disruptive, like what Fortnite did. Like, you're going to need something to absolutely detonate, like detonating the wall of Helm's Deep. It's going to need to be that tectonic, or it's just going to be slow. You'll just slowly have people, playing less and less Call of Duty, less and less people playing Apex, and then, so subtly, you might have some other game come in and creep in and grab up those players. I find that to be not a good business plan, because you're hoping, basically, for either tectonic drainage or slow drainage. Like, you're hoping to eventually get enough people from these other established titles so that your game, that your game can land strong. Tomorrow will be perfectly balanced. All things should be. What is this guy saying? Oh my gosh. Back in January, they were saying that the Xbox event was going to announce God of War, Ragnarok, and Zelda coming to Xbox. Gosh, these guys are absolutely insane. Symbol the Rapper picking up a membership. The reason that we named that member Light is that is the introductory membership. You want that member plus. It helps us hit our goal, and it gets you into more content. So feel free to stay at member Light for a month. If you like what you see, bump up to member plus. You could bump up right now, and I'll count you. I'll let you double dip. I'm going to add this to the total of $5.59, and I'll let you double dip if you upgrade. I know that's kind of confusing. I wish YouTube didn't do it that way, but that's why I gave you guys the opportunity to double dip. Call of Duty is struggling for retention, though. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff. Here, this loops back to the Call of Duty skill-based matchmaking discussion, by the way. This does. This loops all the way back. All the way back. It was just a 24-hour Stone Spire. This loops all the way back to the conversation about skill-based matchmaking. Call of Duty, one of the devs on skill-based matchmaking, just spoke to the fact that they do skill-based matchmaking because about 40% of the player base would quit if they didn't. There it is. Symbol upgrades and gets us even closer. We are so close. I'm going to count that as a double. There we go. 60. 560. We are so stinking close. We continue to set records every single day. This is the closest we have ever been to the 600 member plus goal. We are 13 people away. 13. We must have had somebody slip in the last hour because Symbol just upgraded. This person said that nonsense. They had the nerve to call PlayStation fans stupid, liars, and grifters for laughing at him. Wait, he said that God of War and Zelda were coming to Xbox and then said that PlayStation fans were stupid and liars and grifters? What do you mean? That's not true. There was no reason to say that God of War or Zelda were coming to Xbox. That's not... There is zero business impetus for either of those companies to do that. Nintendo and PlayStation have zero reason to do that. If you think PlayStation's going to spend a dime porting their games to your Series S, you're either drunk or in another universe. I don't even know what to say to that. There is no way PlayStation would ever spend a dime on that. Yeah, we need you to port that game. Yeah, port it over to the Series S. Good Lord. People think that they want skill-based matchmaking until they get skill-based matchmaking. Here comes the Series S hate. It's not Series S hate. You're never going to see a company break from their brand allegiance to port a game to the weakest console on the market. They're not going to do that. Have you been paying attention to anything that they're signaling? Like Mark Cerny announces PS5 Pro. He does an interview with Ollie from Digital Foundry. They announced the relationship with AMD and Project Amethyst. And you think they're going to port a game backwards to your weak piece of hardware? What are we even talking about? It's delusional. PlayStation has signaled they're marching forward tech-wise, and you think they're going to port a game to the Series S. That's not hate. I'm being realistic. If being realistic is hate, then you're fragile. According to them, PlayStation has already gone full third party because they release games on PC. A lot of the argumentation from that side is faulty premise built on faulty premise built on faulty premise. It's just lies stacked on top of lies. You've got to have a machete the size of a Volkswagen Beetle to cut through all their bullcrap. Like, it's so difficult to know where's the dishonesty even start. You know what I mean? It's just lies all the way down. It's like you got to go all the way down to the basement of their lies to be like, oh, this is where it started. It's just ridiculous. They do it on purpose. It makes it hard to know which way's up. If you try to engage with the argumentation, you don't know which lie to chop at first. You know what I mean? It's like this big chimera, and you're like, which lie should we attack first? It's just ridiculous. It's so dadgum tiring. And then they'll cast me as the liar for absolutely deflating and refuting their buffoonery. Like, lieception, it's a lie within a lie within a lie. Yes, it's lies all the way down. All the way down. And they'll just shift to a new one. Every single time last year their false narratives have been destroyed, they just move to a new house. You know what I mean? You know, you don't understand context. They're only talking about ABK games. That house is gone. Well, they're never going to do the big first-party titles. These are just like B-tier games. Demolished. Just move on to a new thing. Exclusives are bad, and it's pro-consumer to put games on more platforms. You know, that'll stay standing for a little while until it's clear that both Nintendo and PlayStation are laughing at the notion. I don't know. This time next year, they'll be lying about something else. Bloodborne's never getting a remake, I think. PlayStation doesn't care about it enough. I mean, Yoshida's theory was that they want to wait so Miyazaki can be involved, and there's been enough insiders that have indicated that work has been done on it. So my theory was they were working on a remaster. They pumped the brakes after the Demon's Souls remake and said, this game's more worthy of a remake than a remaster. And then more than likely, somebody said, out of respect, we should probably let Miyazaki be involved here. This is like his love child, right? Like this is a very beloved title for him. So Yoshida thinks that they're basically only going to do it if Miyazaki can be involved. I think that's going to be a challenge. Miyazaki kind of feels like a shark, right? He's got to stay moving. He can't stop and go back. Like, I don't think he's going to want to necessarily do that. I think he wants to move on to the next thing. Like with Elden Ring Night Rain, Miyazaki basically helped with some of the early work and then greenlit it and then hands off. He has nothing to do with Elden Ring Night Rain. So, wishful thinking, unfortunately. Nobody's doing wishful thinking. I'm merely repeating what has been stated. So you're false framing everything I just said. I'm not being wishful thinking. I'm not a big Bloodborne fan. I've never played the game. I'm merely repeating to you what has been stated by insiders as well as Yoshida. You don't have a great track record in this chat. You seem to be a pretty dishonest person. A PC port is not more complex. The games are built on PC and then ported to a dev kit console for the console port. That is completely untrue and false. Everybody that's spoken to PC ports have said that it's not as simple as just bringing the game over. They've also never once said that, porting to PC is really easy because the game's built on PC. That's completely ignorant of how games are developed. There's not a single porting company or development company out there that would say, Oh yeah, it's really easy to port the game to PC. We build it on PC after all. If that were true, then you wouldn't need dev companies like Nixis to port the game. That's quite literally what their expertise is. If it was as simple as like, oh, it's really easy to do because we build it on a PC, then you wouldn't need Nixis. You would just say, hey, Insomniac, can you do that really easy porting work? You built a game on PC after all. Like some of you guys just literally bend over and Jim Carrey talk out of your rear end sometimes. I don't know where you get your information. How you build a game on PC and scale the settings to begin with? Yeah, you do not understand what you're talking about. You don't. If it was that simple, then you wouldn't need porting companies. You wouldn't. Brett, I'm not a Sister Williams with the Member Plus. I don't know. Is that an upgrade or a renewal, Brett? I think that's just a renewal. I think you've been on Member Plus for a while. I feel like I've seen you in green rooms. When you guys upgrade to Member Plus, no, it says you upgraded 0 days ago, but it says you've been at the, it says, oh no, you did, 588. We're at 588. We're 12 away. We are 12 people away. We need 12 more people to upgrade. We only need 12 of you. We're almost to the final 10 countdown. A ridiculous comment to think just because it's built on PC, it's easy to port. AOZ says, Xbox development isn't the same as other console dev kits development, FYI. I'm not dishonest. I want the game too, but rumors of it being worked on weren't true. How do you know they weren't true? Bluepoint was doing Ragnarok support and that live service game. Who falsified the claims that there was work on a Bloodborne remaster or remake? Who falsified those claims? You're saying the rumors weren't true. How do you know that? There were so many reliable insiders that said they had heard it was being worked on. Like, I don't think it's ever been falsified that at some point work was being done on a Bloodborne remaster or remake. What are you saying, JC? Lono, do you not see it says welcome honest questions? Huh? What are you talking about? It says welcome? JC, what are you talking about? I'm not sure what you're referring to. What says welcome? What kind of computers are used to build Android apps? Can those computers run Android apps? They were just rumors. How do you know they were even true? How do you know they weren't true? I'm applying logic. You just made a claim that was false. You said the rumors weren't true. That you can't make that claim. You don't know that. You can say, I don't think the rumors are true. I can think the rumors are true, and I'll tell you why. When you've got out insiders and people with connections from all across the gaming sphere saying, at some point, there was a Bloodborne remaster or remake that they were working on planning or doing or talking about or whatever. There was work done. We don't know to what degree, but there was work done. When that many different people say it, I'm like, yeah, it was probably happening. It's probably not happening right now. Because according to Yoshida, they want Miyazaki involved. So I'm not saying that they built it or that it was ready to ship or that like it's playable. I'm saying at some degree it was worked on because too many people said it. There's just way too many people that said it. That's very corroborative. You have to admit it's being wishful at this point. I'm not being wishful. I'm simply speaking to facts and reason and just basic deductive logic. I'm not saying that I hope that it's coming. I'm not being hopeful at all. To say that Yoshida basically said, you know, it's probably not going to happen unless Miyazaki can get involved. How does that sound hopeful to you or wishful thinking? That doesn't sound That doesn't sound hopeful or wishful at all. It's like, it's probably not going to happen. Please skip this banana dude. I'm not even reading his comments anymore. He's ignorant. There's no reason to read somebody talking who doesn't know what they're talking about. It's just another person who's trying to distract the stream so that they can get a clip of me being frustrated. Like, these guys have been doing it all week. You're being hopeful that the rumors were accurate? Okay, I tell you what. Like I said, you're dishonest, po' boy. You keep reframing what I'm saying and lying about me. You're done here. You did this yesterday. You just did it a little bit ago and said, here comes the Series S hate, and now you're doing it again. I just said about 3 or 4 or 5 different times, I'm not being hopeful that it comes. I'm saying there were rumors. Seems like the rumors were pretty corroborative and reliable. And then Yoshida said it's probably not going to happen unless Miyazaki can be involved. I am not being hopeful. Telling me what I'm being when I say that I'm not being it is both condescending and dishonest. And now you're done here. I do not have patience for liars. And you're just another liar. Let's just have a conversation. Difference of opinion's fine. If you're going to lie about me, go put clips on Twitter with the rest of the liars. Like, you're just like them. You're probably friends with them. You're probably in league with them. And oh, by the way, Chris Davies, you got your 24-hour the other day, but you're also done here because you're going to run to Twitter and you're going to run to the harasser and the mentally ill person on Twitter that won't leave me alone. You're going to run into his arms like a pathetic little boy. Go run into his arms again. Clip this, put this on Twitter. You are all mentally deranged and you harass me daily because you're pathetic little boys with nothing better to do with your life. Clip it, ship it. I don't care. You're done here, Chris. Go run into their arms, just like Destin and Kirk ran into their arms. These people don't know the categorical difference between daily harassment and attacks and name-calling and me correcting Destin's falsehood. You're in good league. Go hang out with those adult fetuses. You guys think you can come in here and disrupt my frickin' stream with your nonsense? I can smell you from a mile away, and we can see what you do on Twitter. You little coward. I'm done with cowardly, boyish behavior. You can come in here and you can debate me. You can come in here and you can share your opinions. You can. I will 100% engage with you. But you want to come in here and just say things that aren't true and false, and you want to clip me so you can put me on Twitter, and you want to run into the arms of salt farmers and harassers and mentally ill people, then you don't get to hang out here. I don't have time for people like you. You talking about Kirk, the one you used to stream with? Yeah. Yeah, there. You got me to say their names. You got me to say their names. Both Kirk and Destin ran into the arms of a guy that harasses me every day. Why? Because they didn't like what I had to say. Like a couple of cowards. Why are you signal boosting harassment because you don't like my opinions? That's messed up. That's messed up, dude. Out here signal boosting harassers. Destin got to interview Phil Spencer, and you're signal boosting a guy who harasses people on the internet. What are you doing? What are you doing? Where are the men of integrity? Where are they? They're just not here anymore. They're vacant. They're gone. Good Lord. That's why you didn't support being done with people like that? Yeah, I will 100% curate a community of people that want to have dialogue and discussions and debates. I've had heated debates with people like Corey and Eugene and Lone Wolf and others. I've had heated debates with people. You can come in here and you can debate and discuss with me all you want. But you want to come in here and lie and propagate falsehood so you can clip me and run to your daddies to put me in their content, then you don't get to hang out here. That is absolutely deranged behavior. It's just deranged. Yes, that's who I'm talking about, Felix. Yes. Yes. He's been so frustrating for months. Let me explain something. One of the reasons that I let people hang out who sometimes have pretty bad takes, or, you know, they're obviously cheering for that side, is because it makes for a more interesting stream. It does. It makes for a more interesting stream. It's more fun to have people to debate. It is. But you have people that go too far and they end up just disrupting chat because they put a lie in the chat, and then we have to spend time breaking the lie down before we can kind of like move on. It's like all of a sudden we have to do like this little pit stop. Like, all right, you know, little Billy's got to go pee-pee, so we got to stop the talk, and we got to, like, talk to this little guy over here, you know, who's making stuff up. And it's like, it's like a flat tire. And they do it on purpose because they know that it can disrupt the flow and the fun and the vibe, right? The gifted members slow down, the super chat slow down, the talk slows down, the vibe changes. So I'm on to them now. Like I'm getting better, I think, at like tuning into like, oh, I know what this guy's doing. You're trying to make basically like sidetrack the entire conversation with lies, so we waste our time on you. And I'm getting to the point now where it's like, no, you're not going to do that. Drexen says, I'm watching your streams for a while now, and I've proudly been a member, and if I can point out a problem is that your ban button is not used nearly as often as it should be. Well, I basically said the policy now is that if you're going to make that kind of a claim and can't back it up, I'm just going to time you out. I'm not going to permanently ban you. I'm just going to time you out because it's too disruptive to the flow of conversation. It's a detriment to what we do here and what we enjoy, and I'm not going to let you ruin it for everybody else. I'm not going to give them that power any longer. For the longest time, I wouldn't get one guide and I wouldn't engage with them, but then you guys were getting frustrated because, like, you were going back and forth with them in chat and getting annoyed with it. Like, you guys told me, you're like, that guy's been doing that for months. Well, I was ignoring a lot of it. I started engaging with it. Well, then what does it do? Well, it drags the conversation down. So, I'd ban like 70 accounts, all the same one or two. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they just keep coming back. The good thing we have going now is they stand out really quickly. They're going to be a gray name because we're so generous with our members. They're going to be a gray name, and their account's going to be fairly new. And some of them tried to stay quiet. Some of the accounts I banned recently, like, they made them 2 or 3 months ago. So they try to wait because if the account's like 4 minutes old, they know they're not going to last. I'm going to click on their name and be like, get out of here. So they've been waiting. Well, they still stand out. It's like, sure, yeah, gray name, 3 or 4 month old account, and you're in here propagating falsehood. Gee, I wonder where you came from. So, we got your back. Thank you, SDO, with the 5 spot. Looking forward to the Friday session. I appreciate it very, very much. Yeah, we can get back on track here. Not this gray name. I can spot them, Sam. I can spot them. It's so easy. They say really similar things. You know, they have a similar vibe. You know what I mean? He gets mad at what other people's opinion, not my problem. Who are you talking about, Zig? The clever ones stay civil and they start asking weighted questions after a few months. Exactly, John. Exactly. It's, you know, listen, some of these guys are, you know, they're not too bright. Some of them are a little bit more clever, but yeah. Lono's hair is the real Lono. This guy is just a suit. I paid to argue with Lono, says El Duderino. This is a professional relationship between owner and customer. Thank you, El Duderino. He's saying you're banning because they disagreed with you? No. I don't ban people who disagree with me. People disagree with me all day long. Like, Corey shows up on the regular and disagrees with me. Paul shows up on the regular and disagrees with me. Eugene, Lone Wolf. So many people here disagree with me every single day. But they don't lie, and they don't clip me and run into the arms of some deranged clip farmer on Twitter. They have character. They have integrity. They're not some little coward. Gavin with a 5 spot says, hold on, are you trying to tell me all those thumbnails of you crying massive tears while wearing a PlayStation hat aren't accurate? Super Googly with the super chat as well. I always wonder why people would watch streamers play non-competitive games. Just play those games yourselves and enjoy. Thank you, Googly. We're 1 super chat away from Confetto. I disagree with you that Italian sweet cream is the best creamer out there. Most of us argue with Lono semi-consistently. Yeah, it's literally what makes this channel work. It's what makes it function. I just don't think people quite understand the difference between... There's a categorical difference between saying, Lono, I don't agree with you and here's why, and saying, you're just a grifting pony. Like, those aren't the same. And to some of these guys, they can't see the difference. They're like, do I tell him that I disagree with him and explain why? Or do I call him a grifting pony? Oh, you're only saying that because you're a pony. To them, these things are any different. So when they get banned for saying, well, you're only saying that because you're a pony. You're only saying that because you hate Xbox. And they do it enough that they get banned. They don't understand. They're like, well, I got banned for disagreeing. It's like, no, you got banned for insulting me or chat or just coming in and lying. It's like, if you can't see the difference, I can't help you. The number of times we have had to explain the difference between an opinion and a fact is absurd. Lone Wolf says, funny enough, most of the things I disagree with you on are like tiny things. I agree with a large portion of your arguments. I know I said I agree with your overall point, but so many times. And a 5 spot from Siriu says, everyone's a pony if you squint hard enough, and that's more confetto, and I owe you guys a member. I will reset that member goal as well. Thank you so much for your continued generosity. That bumps the member count to 563. Confetto. Let me gift a member. I pay it forward when you guys are generous with the super chats. I give some of it back to somebody else. Thank you very much. I'm going to start a lie. Lono's 5'10". He only has a forehead, and he doesn't even have an Xbox. Let's go. Oh, my word. People that have been here a while saw you turn from Destiny streamer to Xbox guy to PlayStation PC guy. Follow the truth. If you've been here long enough, that's right. You're a liar. Lono's 5'4" without his hair. Oh my gosh. Anyone else remember the mysterious blue coffee? Yeah, we were going to do a Rageless Roast. Well, now it's Reforge. We were going to do a Reforge Roast Select and use the blue color. But it just, we could probably do it now because they let us do smaller orders, but it was going to be like ridiculously expensive. And it was just like, we're just not to the point where I can throw capital like that around. Like, I can't just be like, yeah, sure. You know, coffee orders are, you know, they're really inconsistent and really slow. For a time there, the coffee orders were popping off, and we switched to Shopify, and that hurt us for some reason. And when we switched back, it's never picked up. The coffee orders have never picked up. So I've just minimized my investment in it. You know, as a business decision, I'm not going to keep investing large sums of money in something that has slowed down. So Siriu with the 5 bomb. He's like, let's get this member train going again. We got a little distracted. We got a little bit down in the muck and the mire, and we can keep on keeping on. We don't got to keep giving these guys the time of day. Thank you very much, Siriu. I just got a Barbie advert for the toys. I think my daughter has defo been using my phone. That's good, Hilly. We got some details coming out about this Wonder Woman game. Okami here on Twitter. Wonder Woman's going to have the Nemesis system in reverse, where you would talk to people and befriend them as allies. This was eventually scrapped when it was rebooted. It began production in June of 2021, but was rebooted in late 2023. The game changed directors, and it became a more traditional God of War style action game. Oh, that sounds freaking awesome. Monolith reportedly wasn't interested in making another Lord of the Rings game after their new original IP was canceled by WB in 2021. Monolith's entire leadership team and many devs quit. They were forced to work on Wonder Woman while rebuilding their staff and leadership team at the same time. It was an impossible situation. Many of the ex-Monolith team formed Cliffhanger Games with EA, and they're now working on the new Black Panther game. That'll probably be so freaking great. These guys made such good combat in the Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor games. Wonder Woman was canceled due to 2024 being a horrible year for WB Games. They lost $200 million on Suicide Squad, another $100 million on Multiverses and Quidditch Champions. This plus the reboot is what led to the cancellation, closure of the studio, and the ousting of their CEO. Monolith's devs have no knowledge of the studio's closure. They learned about it on Tuesday, shortly before we did. Good golly. That's just stupid. You lose money back in really dumb plays. I told you guys that Quidditch, I was like, I remember seeing footage of that Quidditch game, and I'm like, that's why that wasn't in Hogwarts. I don't think they could make it work. I really, really don't. I don't think you could make Quidditch work. I've been reading the books to my kids. Like, it's an incredibly fast game. You would never be able to make it feel like what it's supposed to feel like. I mean, the Seekers are incredibly fast. The Bludgers are incredibly fast. Like, there's no way it could ever feel right. Guys, can we get 10 more likes on the video? We're having a strong day. Despite YouTube being goofy this morning, we're having a great, great day. So thank you, everybody, for doing that. Let's get our 300 like count. You guys are crushing it. We've only been streaming for an hour and a half. We're having a really great day. But that's just stupid that you back some dumb decisions like kill the Justice League and Quidditch, and you're like, well, we placed some wrong bets. Sorry, Monolith. Like, what the frick? Like, what the heck? How do you begin to chase a snitch that's 4x4? Yeah, at the speed that Harry and the other Seekers are supposed to go. Like, come on. Like, it was never gonna work. It was never going to work. I mean, half of the 360 stop motion CGI. I don't know how you would have done it without it being like nauseating. To move that fast. Super cool you're reading Harry Potter with your kids. Can't wait to do that with my daughter. Dude, I do voices and everything. They get like full audiobook production from me. Like they get the real treatment. To the point that like my kids will listen to some stories and they say that I do better voices than the audiobooks. It's fun. And they're loving Hogwarts Legacy. And they're every time we finish a book, we watch the movie, so they're loving that as well. It's just great. We're having a blast. Aggregate impression at 600 members. I'll do it. Yeah. If oh no. For the 600 member plus and above. Yeah. If enough people upgrade, I'll give you guys some of my voices. Now, I don't make my voices like from the movies. My Dumbledore is a little bit like the first Dumbledore, but I actually do my own voices. I don't mimic the movies that much. I don't. I kind of mimic Harry, but I don't mimic Hagrid. I don't even dare try to mimic Snape. I don't even dare. I do not dare. I do my own. Hogwarts Legacy. Sorry, Lono, your kids are canceled. How could they support such hatred? Spider-Man 2 brought some pretty impressive speed. Yeah, but I'm here to tell you, swinging around is Spidey or gliding is Spidey. I just don't know. There's not enough space. You know? There's not enough space. You got, it's like you're going to go that fast in that small amount of space. Like, you go that fast in Spidey, and you got a lot of room. You're in New York. What book are you up to? Prisoner of Azkaban. So, when we went to the Florida State Fair, I got them wands, and I got my favorite character's wand, and they don't understand yet. They don't understand yet because we haven't gotten far enough yet. They're like, why'd you get his wand? You'll find out soon enough. Your kids are getting the perfect Harry Potter treatment. Yeah, it's fun. I think for Quidditch, the snitch chase would be a small part. You make the game, you first chase it. One team catches, and rest of the game's like hockey, checking to steal the snitch, passing and scoring. Yeah, but catching the snitch ends the game. So like that wouldn't be Quidditch. That would not be Quidditch. You can't do that. I mean, I guess you could, but then why even make it to that point? Spicy erotica voiceovers for 700 paid subs? No. I would love to get into voice acting, but you need like an agent and you need a ton of work. I don't have time for that. I really, really don't. It would be fun. It would be so fun, but so. Any possibility of other devs, like for Black Panther, can create a version of the Nemesis system, like an anti-hero system? The villains you fight become allies or something? Yeah, I think the challenge with the Nemesis system is they trademarked it. So if you're even in the hemisphere, you're taking a big risk. Like, I don't know if a studio is going to want to take that risk. You know what I mean? It's like, do you really want to risk getting in a legal battle because your system is similar to the Nemesis system? Poor Mash got actually on Quidditch. I'm not trying to be a Potter nerd, you know what I'm saying? But come on, you can't like pass around the snitch. It ends the game. It's a significant portion of the stories, you know? Oh, you're still going with this guy, AOZ? AOZ says, I'm ignorant. They should fire me because you know so much more than me about something I do every day. Yeah, Banana, you do realize you're talking to somebody who works at SIE, right? He says, I didn't care enough to read your ignorance, says Banana. Nintendo does use ARM, and I was talking about PS5 Xbox ports. Jiminy Christmas. Dude out here debating with somebody who actually works in the industry. Like he knows better. Banana, you're the one that said a game should be easy to port to PC because they build it on a PC. That's the depth of your knowledge of game dev. Like, come on, dude. You better slow down. What's The Rock say? Know your role. Shut your mouth and know your role. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, no, it's pronounced arm, like the thing on your shoulder. Oh, I thought it was ARM. Arm. Lono tells them to like and sub the story before they go to bed. Yeah, after I finished reading, I'm like, if you guys like this evening reading of Harry Potter, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Yes, and he's a bad dev. The games are built on PC. All you have to do is scale it to do different PC parts. He says he's a bad dev. Listen to this sentence. Listen to the brilliance of this sentence. The games are built on PC. All you have to do is scale it to different PC parts. That's it. That's all you have to do, guys. I mean, that's it. That you don't need Nixus. You don't need porting companies. You don't need to hire for parallel development. That's all you have to do, guys. You just scale it to the different pieces of the PC parts. Just scale it, bro. Good golly. Trying to claim that someone is ignorant about game dev while expressing a very clear and apparent amount of ignorance is truly remarkable. You're soaking wet telling somebody that they have too much sweat on their brow. Like, you're drenched, mate. You don't, like, you can't speak on this. Imagine buying a company to just port your games. Right. Just scale, bro. What are we doing here? All you got to do is scale it. It's super easy. You're already building on the PC. Just scale it, bro. I mean, you didn't design all of the systems around the data controller and the I/O and the speed of the SSD. Oh, and also the memory and the GPU and you're also tapping into this upscaler. That's quite a bit different than the DLSS. I mean, these are completely different pieces of technology. But just scale it, bro. Built on does not equal built for. He doesn't understand that. Just because you downplay it doesn't make it untrue. Homie, there's not a developer in existence that would agree with what you're saying. That's what scaling is. Right, but you seem to be equating the fact that because, they're building it on the PC, all they have to do is scale it. You have to understand what you're saying is just like egregiously ignorant. Because the average port from all the reports we've read take about a year, okay? So what you're saying that a year's worth of work porting an existing game over, you're saying all you have to do is scale it. You're making it sound like all they got to do is go in and tweak a couple of things and then they can ship it to PC. That just isn't true. Do you have any idea how much money they would save if what you're saying is true? Because then they would just do that. They'd be like, oh yeah, you guys are done. Okay, can now you guys just kind of scale it to PC so we have a PC version ready? Scaling between PC parts is mostly about adjusting settings. It's not the same as porting. That's exactly right, Paul. Like you're doing this oversimplification of like what the work is. Like porting is not the same as being like, well, hey, you just can adjust some of the settings. When you're making a game for PC, yes, you can do that. Viewers are discussing a chat interaction between a streamer and a viewer where the viewer made a comment about the streamer's intelligence and the streamer responded with a sarcastic explanation of game scaling. That is shockingly accurate. Oh, thank you, Wolf Saints. It's a simplification. I'm not going to type an essay talking about different ways of scaling. I mean, now you're just walking it back. You called somebody who works for SIE ignorant and bad at development as you said, well, this is all they have to do. I'm sorry, like, you've expressed ignorance, not the guy who actually works in the industry. Charles with a gifted member, thank you. Like, I could say, yeah, building a bigger building isn't hard. You just buy more materials and build more floors. But that's not getting into the depth and the complexity of what it takes to build a taller building. The entire shape and structure of the building changes at a certain height because of wind, and it has to be able to flex. If you've ever looked at the research that went into how they built the Sears Tower, right? This is a good analogy, right? The complexity of building that, it's not like, oh, well, you've built a building that's 5 stories tall. Surely you can build a building that's 15 stories tall. Just buy more stuff and make it taller. Like, that's the way that you brought, like, that's what you brought to the conversation. It's just like, oh, yeah, they just have to scale it. And it's like, well, that is sort of accurate, but it's not an accurate representation of why these games need to be typically handled by a porting company. Don't you think it's interesting that some of the best quality games that you've received recently on PC were games that were built and then ported later? Like, we're already seeing that, like, that is a superior or potentially superior development method as opposed to multi-plat development methods. Like, if you're going to build the game for one system, you get all of those things exactly how you want them, and then you hand it over to the porting company, and the porting company, that's their expertise, is like, okay, we're going to bring this to PC. And I think PlayStation is showing that that is superior. Now, not always, but I think it certainly seems like it's superior, especially when you take your time. Like Spider-Man 2, they didn't take enough time. Last of Us Part 1, they didn't take enough time. There's evidence of like, oh, hey, you guys rushed that. You should not do that. I can't play Blueprints. Lono just spoiled how buildings work. All game devs have a scaling button, says Mash. It just takes them 3 to 4 years to press it. You ignorant. Do research. AOZ says, so how do you manage memory for your games when the console memory is structured differently? Coding for PC, what about specialized direct memory calls? Memory timings are different. Yeah, AOZ is flexing a little bit on you. Like, he's showing that, like, he actually understands how these things work. Some games on PC can be maxed out and get 31 FPS on older graphics cards, and just a simple slider. Those same cards can achieve 60 FPS. It's amazing. Zubair says also, and sorry to confuse Banana more, but games can be coded to get as close to the metal as possible, and the closer they get, the harder it is to change them for other metal. Tweaking settings equals scaling, says Paul. Rebuilding and optimizing for entire systems equals porting. Right, you're not even, I think Paul is good to be pedantic on this. You're not even using the proper terminology. You're not just like scaling and tweaking settings. No, you're rebuilding and optimizing entire systems to bring it over to PC so that it runs properly. If it was as simple as tweaking settings and scaling, I got news for you. PlayStation would be bringing their games to PC, I think, at a quicker cadence. It'd probably always be about 18 months. You wouldn't be waiting 2-3 years sometimes. And they wouldn't need Nexus. They wouldn't. If it was just a matter of scaling and tweaking, what do you need Nexus for? Memory call, is that when your girlfriend calls you to tell you that something else you forgot? Perhaps. If I was a game dev, says Danny, I would simply adjust the game slider to PC version and hit enter. No disrespect to industry professionals who know better, but I'm different. That's a good comment. That's a good comment, Danny. That was really good. Guys, we are 12 away. We have 588 people at Member Plus and above. We are 12 away. So stinking close. Oh my gosh. Sign up brand new right now for Member Plus or upgrade to Member Plus if you're sitting on a Member Lite. You guys can do it. We 12 people. Man, oh man. We could do that today. That is the shortest the gap's ever been. Where did Banana go? Who cares? There's a continued presence of people in here that are coming out of the woodwork with long-standing memberships, and they're saying things that feel intentionally crafted to get attention and correction so that they could get clips. Like, it's really starting to feel that way. It's like there's been a very, very consistent trend. Witcher 4's game director has denied that they changed Ciri's face after a behind-the-scenes video caused speculation. The variation is a natural part of the game development process. There you go. Get that guy's tweet community noted. I freaking told you. I told you. 100%. I told you that they had not changed it. Proof. Here we go. Proof below from the devs. He needs a community note. 100%. That tweet should be community noted. I frickin' told you. I said, I really, really hope that CD Projekt Red speaks to this. Shut this crap down. CEO of another company wants to come out here and spread falsehood about your game. Shut it the frick down. Sit down and be quiet. Go back to making your game and removing things because you're worried about the angry mob. Go back. Just go back and do that. Nobody's interested in your frickin' falsehood. I don't think it would matter if the PS5 released games on PC day and date. Of course, it takes time to port. But I just think PC gamers will never buy consoles, just like console gamers buying PC. But PC gamers have displayed a willingness to buy consoles. There's a bunch of them in this community. I mean, there are PC gamers willing to buy a console. What you're saying is just absolutely inaccurate. My nephews have both. We have people here that have both. What happened with The Witcher? So the CEO of the company behind Lords of the Fallen decided to take to Twitter to misrepresent The Witcher. So he sent the following tweet. This image on the left is from a deep dive recently done on The Witcher 4, and he said, huge win seeing devs listening to gamers and adapting with the latest changes in their products. This is the future of gaming, and it's only going to grow. So what he's doing is he's claiming that this was the trailer that everybody claimed she was ugly in. Not everybody, but, incels got to incel. They claimed she was ugly, and then this picture was from the latest. Now, I quote tweeted him with a screenshot from the first trailer. Look at the way she looks here. She looks the same here. It's the exact same model. It's the exact same face. This is from the same trailer that this image came from, okay? She looks different in the trailer numerous times, and they're obviously using the worst picture because grifters and liars don't have any other currency other than just being dishonest. And so I said, pretty dishonest to make it seem like they changed the character in response to feedback. This pic is from the original trailer. They haven't changed Ciri. CD Projekt Red has come out and confirmed they have not changed the model. They haven't. So he's just another liar. The list is growing. The list is growing. Welcome to the club of grifting liars. Like you're just another one of them. No reason to listen to you. Why? Go back and change your game again. Go do that. You go do that. Why don't you make Lords of the Fallen not run like crap? Why don't you focus on that instead of grifting on Twitter? Eugene says, I really think increase in motion capture and expressiveness has broken people. They're so used to static, perfect faces that when they see a face move realistically, they don't know what to do because they've never seen a woman. And now with the ability to freeze frame these accurately emoted faces, it allows them to make them look ugly. Yeah, I think that's very, very spot on, Eugene. It's very spot on. Like, the same rule applies with, do you guys remember Jowlers, where you would like shake your face and take a picture and your face would be all like looking crazy? Do you guys remember that? Jowlers? Me and my friends did it all the time. It was hilarious. It was like a fun challenge to do with your friends. That's essentially what that is. It's like, yes, if you take an awkward photo of me and I'm turning, I'm in between smiling, I'm talking or whatever, you can make me look very different than I actually look. It's kind of like the tabloid pictures of the celebrities where, you know, it's an awkward angle or they make them look fat or they make them like, oh, they don't have makeup on or whatever. It's a very similar thing now. Games are getting to such a high level of realism that, like, you can freeze frame an angle of a picture of Aloy and you can make her look fat. You can make her look like a completely different person. And they did the exact same thing with MJ from Spider-Man. They have that terrible picture that they circulate, and then they were doing the exact same thing with Siri. They were doing the exact same thing with Siri. It's like, well, in this picture, she looks kind of gruff and a bit and more masculine, like more strong features. But then in the same trailer, she looks more soft and delicate and more feminine. It's just, it's lighting, it's angles. Like, it's what you really have to analyze. Instead of analyzing every freeze frame of the trailer, you should analyze the obsession. Like, I think that's more interesting. A bunch of grown men who are like, this person's not hot enough in my video game. I think you're weird. I think you self-report being a weirdo. Like, what are you doing? You're just telling the whole world that you're weird. Like, why? Keep that to yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Be weird in the privacy of your own home. I don't need it out on Main Street on Twitter. This character's not hot enough. Okay, well, and listen, if you're gonna do it, can you do it without lying? I'm not mad about them being hot. It's about them being ugly. But what are you talking about? There are plenty of screenshots from that trailer. Like, you think that's ugly? So you think this is an ugly person? Full lips, perpendicular face, nice jawline, pretty hair, very feminine. You think this is ugly? No, that's what we're talking about. Like, I don't know. I don't want to belabor the point. When we get on this subject, people leave because I think they're sick of it. So, wait, did I misunderstand? It's not about them being hot. It's about them not being ugly. Huh? I don't understand your point then, TJ. Sorry, I misunderstood your point. Let's go to the questions. Like, we literally can't talk about this. People leave instantly. I think people are so freaking tired of it. They are so exhausted by it. As soon as we got on it yesterday, a bunch of people left. As soon as we got on it just now, a bunch of people left. So we're just not talking about it. Oh, Perfect Image says, how is going to PC third party when PlayStation selective with their ports? Well, generally speaking, the dialogue around PlayStation going third party, the dialogue around that is okay. It's hard to put it into words because there's so much nuance to PlayStation's efforts, right? So PlayStation has their first-party studio efforts, they have their live service efforts, they have their second-party efforts, they have their third-party efforts, they have their publishing efforts in their hero projects. So what you kind of have to do is you have to determine, well, what effort are we talking about first? Like, that's first order of business. If you want to, this is why the generic reductionistic sort of, they're going third party, herder. It's like, wait, stop. We need to know what you're talking about before we jump to that conclusion. Are we talking about their China Hero Project publishing efforts? Are we talking about their live service efforts? Are we talking about second or third party efforts? Are we talking about their first party studios? Are we talking about porting efforts to PC? Which thing are we talking about? Until you establish that, I don't know how you're getting to your conclusion. I don't. You got to start with, what exactly are we talking about? Oh, China Hero Project. Okay, well, just hang on a second. China Hero Project is a very specific publishing effort from PlayStation, and they're doing day and date on PC because the Chinese market has a very particular trend. Console has a very weak footprint there, and they're partnering with Chinese developers who would naturally want to build for PC if they want their game to sell well. So, if you're talking specifically about that, you're talking about a studio that PlayStation doesn't own, an IP that PlayStation doesn't own, they're paying to publish the game in that market, and according to Yoshida, it's an effort to grow in the Chinese market. You see? So I got to know what you're talking about first before you're like, oh, they're going third party, herder. It's like, okay, but what are you basing that off of? Are you doing a split fiction stream with... Yes, Christos. I will do a split fiction stream with Hilly in the afternoon, and then I'll do one with my wife. Yes, it's going to be glorious. It's going to be so fun. Oh, it's going to be a blast. I don't know how we're going to handle that, though. I would love to have a complete playthrough with Madam on the channel for you guys, but we're going to want to play it during the week. I don't know how we're going to handle that. I really don't. I really don't. We might have to brainstorm about that. I can't do a nightly stream all week when Split Fiction comes out so that we have a whole play through. Record it offline? Yeah, but that's not going to work either. I'm not equipped for that. I'm not set up for that. And how would we record it? Sitting in our living room? It's easy to do with Hilly. It's a once a week segment that we do, and it's a blast. Right? I'm not going to be like playing with Hilly off stream. Respectfully, Lono, you must. The chat demands it. I'm trying to think of how we could do it. Because if we had two different saves, that wouldn't be good, because then we would know what's coming. There'd be no genuine reactions. We would know what the next level is because we've already played it. Only play it when you can stream it? I don't know if I'm going to want to do that. I want to play it with her like every night until we're done. That's typically what we do. I'll talk about it with her. I'll talk about it with Creature. We'll think through what we could do. You know, maybe the week it comes out, we could justify and say, because I know on Monday nights and Wednesday nights, it's really hard for us to play a game together. I usually play something by myself. So it would have to be something like Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You know, I don't know how long that game is, though. Frickin' It Takes Two is long. It Takes Two is not short. Hi from France. Salut. Splitgate 2 Open Alpha is now available. Hop into the fray, and the portal closes on March 3rd. So if you guys are wanting to play the Splitgate 2 Open Alpha, it's live. PlayStation just tweeted that. I'm sure it's live everywhere. Okay. Press enter too quick. Oh, you went to say bonjour. I plan on playing Split Fiction with the hubby and Suikoden on my own. Yeah, there's gonna be so many games to play that I could just kind of pivot and play games by myself throughout the week, and then we just play on Friday night. But I don't think Madam's going to be down for that. Once we get into a game like that, we both kind of want to play it every night. So, I don't know. I'd be interested to see... Well, no, because the image quality would be terrible. We want to stream on this rig. This rig streams gameplay. It looks beautiful because of AV1 and the higher bit rate. I was going to put Splitgate's tweet, but I saw a PlayStation tweet and decided not to send it. Play Dark Souls 3. I already have, and I beat it. We used to play co-op games, but not so much anymore, says Sneaky Wolf. Oh, man, Split Fiction just looks like so much fun. Oh, my gosh, it looks fun. I saw people saying that Sony will be putting every game on the Switch 2 because of LEGO Horizon and MLB The Show. They also took Hiroki Totoki's words about PC out of context. Yeah, a lot of those guys struggle with context. They really, really do. When the CFO said what he said, they claimed it was only about ABK games. When Satya Nadella said what he said about putting games, on other consoles, they struggled with context there too. They said it was just about ABK. Those guys are struggling with context. They really, really are. You ever see this one? It looks dope. Battle Shapers. Let me take a peek here. What do we got? Battle Shapers is an action-packed sci-fi FPS roguelite, which you shoot and smash your way through corrupt robots. It came out December of last year, 81%. It looks very, Titanfall inspired. Like the movement and the guns and stuff. This kind of reminds me of RoboQuest as well. RoboQuest is a great rogue you can play. This is single player. It'll work with your Xbox controller. It comes from Metric Empire. Official 1.0 launch trailer. Is it okay? So it's no longer in early access. Excuse me. You remember those fact or opinion worksheets for elementary school? People who report on the game's business should have to pass one of those with a 100% before reporting. Have you played Harold Halibut? No, I have not. Gonna go finish Falcon and Winter Soldier. I have a good... All right, see you, Lone Wolf. I could see PlayStation putting some of the other PS4 games on Switch too. Yeah, we've talked about that, Paul. I could see that as well. I could totally see them putting, God of War 2018 or Horizon Zero Dawn or Spider-Man 1 on the Switch 1. I'm sorry, on the Switch 2. And the hope would be they would say, oh my word, I really want to play Spider-Man 2 and I can't. That would be my hope. Is that they would say, "Hey, I'm really excited to play the sequel. I'm gonna come over. I'm gonna come over to that environment." My hope would be that the Switch 2 gets those types of relationships because that's just more people playing great games. Like I was excited when Tsushima and Returnal went to PC for the same reason. It's like these are great games. I want more people to play these games. I would love to see more people playing PlayStation's first party property in other places. If they can get it ported well. Like I wouldn't want it ported poorly to the Switch 2 and then people have like a bad experience. My concern is always quality. I talked about this recently with PC ports. I said if the business and the landscape of PlayStation changes dramatically between now and, the PlayStation 6 and Ghost of Tsushima 3, if Ghost of Tsushima 3 landed on, PlayStation 6 and PC at the exact same time, that doesn't affect me at all. The only thing that has an effect on my experience is if the quality is good. I'm not going to be like angry that like, oh, the guys on PC are getting it at the same time as me. It's like, no, I don't care unless it harms quality. Have you discussed the likelihood of Xbox making another console as it pertains to the cost-benefit analysis? I think that this has been my sort of analysis of Phil Spencer. Whenever Phil Spencer says things that are seemingly contradictory, it's because he's trying to hide the fact that things in the background are changing and are in flux. To me, it's a red flag. So, back when he said, just 4 games, this is not a signal that everything's going, okay? That was not at all an honest representation of what was going on. In the background, you had games actively being ported like Forza. Like, there's no way, Forza Horizon is coming to PlayStation this year with crossplay, and when he did that podcast, like, he didn't know that that was happening. Like, that's not something you slap together, okay? And what he did was he said, just 4 games, this is not a signal that everything's going. And that very same day, an interview with The Verge gets published, and Phil Spencer's like, nothing's off the table. So he's saying conflicting things. Just recently, he said, we want our hardware to win. We want it to win based on its capabilities. And then in the same week, he does another interview where he says, we're not trying to win people to Xbox anymore. And it's like, okay, I'm confused. You want to have hardware and you want your hardware to win, but you're not trying to win people to Xbox anymore. He's saying conflicting things. And I think it's a signal and a red flag that the stuff in the background with respect to hardware, I think it's in flux. I think it's changing. I don't know what that means. That could mean handheld, PC hybrid. I think the best prediction I can make is whatever they release is not a traditional console. I think they are done with that. I think that's over. I do not think there will ever be a traditional Xbox console ever again. Whatever they come out with is going to be some amalgamation, some hybrid, something different, which could be great, but it could also be very disappointing to the people that are like holding on to the Xbox hardware. And they're like, no. Phil made assurances, Sarah Bond made assurances. Okay, but I don't know if you're going to like what they bring. You might. I've said if they did a PC hybrid and I could sideload Steam, I'm all about that. That would be amazing to be able to just play Deep Rock Galactic Survivor in my living room and not have to like mess with the PC. I would love that. We're constantly seeing these cool little indies and little co-op games all of the time. And like, I just don't want to mess with the PC in the living room. So that could be a huge win. But I don't know if it's going to be like a traditional console where you're like, oh yeah, I can't wait. This is so much better than a PlayStation 6. Do you see? You're going to buy, according to Phil, you're going to buy their future hardware based on like capability and technology. You're not going to buy it because it's better than a PlayStation 6. You're not going to be like, it's stronger. That dialogue's gone. It's gone. It died this gen. The dialogue of like, buy our hardware, it's stronger, it's the strongest, it eats monsters for breakfast, that all went out the window. As soon as the Series S got in the hands of the developers, all of the marketing from Xbox changed. It all changed. They stopped talking about power. They privated their marketing video about Series X and S because it was completely inaccurate. It was not true. It was a lie. And they stopped focusing on it. They stopped focusing on power. I don't think they're going to double down and be like, well, no, next time we're really going to come out swing. We're going to do this again. No, I don't think so. Their hardware's in the weakest state that it's ever been with respect to market saturation. So what they're going to do next is going to be a completely different thing. And I really don't think it's going to be like this built to scale thing where they like expect it to sell like crazy. It'll just be this additive extension of the gaming platform that like if you want to engage with them and their ecosystem, this is one way you can do it. Seems with the current gen Xbox not selling and a portion of the users jumping to PlayStation 5, Microsoft would lose money to produce another console. I think its purpose, its aim, its scope, its budget will be completely different. It'll be completely different. It's good news that the PS5 Pro is not selling well. There's no news that it's not selling well. It's tracking slower than the PS4 Pro, but that doesn't mean it's not selling well. They said that they were very pleased with the sales, and they in that one report, they're making more money. So I think they're happy with it. I don't think it's selling poorly. It's selling slower than the PS4 Pro, which is not a surprise. There was a hardware downturn in January for like all hardware. Yeah, nobody came out and said it was not selling well. It's tracking like what? Single digit percentage behind PS4 Pro. I don't think they're upset about that at all. They went from saying we will never lose the power argument again to the next console will be the biggest generational leap in tech. That worries me. €1,000 in France for the PS5 Pro. Yeah, I don't think they're concerned about the Pro tracking behind the PS4 Pro, and I'll tell you why. They just had an incredible quarter, and they reported that it was a record quarter for them, revenue was up, and they hit a record number of monthly active users. So I think their plan is working. Like, you're going to the store, and sure, Pro saturation is lower than it was with the PS4 Pro, but you got to understand what that could be doing. Oh, look, a $450 digital PS5, I'll just buy that instead. They're getting users. They're getting new users as well. Paul says they already said the PS5 Pro was a harder sale versus the PS4. That was before it came out. Yeah, I don't think they were shocked by this. Paul is correct. They knew going in this wasn't going to sell as well as the PS4 Pro. I think they knew that. They knew at the price point it wasn't going to sell as quickly. That's pretty standard, that when your price goes up, your speed goes down. That's common in a luxury market like this. The higher end devices sell slower than the others. Like that's going to be very, very typical. I don't think it's concerning at all. When you're having record growth and you're hitting high numbers, you're having the best generation you've ever had, and you're hitting new monthly active user records, I don't think PlayStation's concerned at all. They are so undeniably winning that if the Pro is selling slower than PS4 Pro, that's something they predicted would happen. They're not like, oh no, the thing that we said was going to happen happened. I think they knew. PS5 Pro is to get PSSR into the users' hands for helping to improve it and to allow the devs to have access to it as well. Like I keep saying, you'll know that PlayStation's concerned when they drop their prices. I managed to find your stream without GTA 6 being in the title again. It hasn't been in the title for multiple days. What do you mean? It wasn't in the title yesterday. It wasn't in the title the day before that. It was in the title on Monday. So Tuesday it wasn't, Wednesday it wasn't, today it wasn't. So 3 days in a row. You having a hard time? Day before Monday wasn't in the title. Day before that wasn't in the title. Day before that wasn't in the title. Day before that it was. So it was in the title on February the 18th, and then it was in the title on February the 24th. So like once a week maybe is right now what I'm averaging. It was in the title quite a bit there for a while because every other day something was coming out about it. We were orbiting around their earnings call, so there was a surge of information and leaks. Do you understand how gaming news works? Do you need me to explain that to you? Stonespire gifts a member, and he bumps the line to 570. Gets us 30 away. Assassin's Creed Shadows standard version, €80 in France. Dark says, I don't mean beta testing is a bad thing, like how it felt when I had my 2070. The issue with consoles becoming more expensive is that it technically, as technology evolves, the cost of production should reduce, but due to modern capitalism, they don't adjust prices down, only up. I don't think that's the primary reason the price hasn't gone down. There was a guy from PlayStation that spoke to that, and he basically said, this time around, we're not going to be able to do that. We're not going to be able to ride the sales curve down. They've already spoken to that. There are actual issues, like global issues and supply chain issues that are behind why the sales curve hasn't happened. Like cost of production for this device, for the PlayStation 5 in particular, it actually hasn't gone down. That's why they haven't been able to do you better believe they want to get the cost of production down so they can do a price drop. They would love to do that. That would help them. That's a good thing. Like, cost of production is not reducing because the cost of newer fabrication nodes is going up, not down. Yeah, the actual tech behind why the prices haven't gone down, it's not just like, oh, they're greedy. It's, no, they can't get operating costs down. They cannot get production costs down for the hardware. They've spoken to this. Since there wasn't crazy pushback, it could set the baseline for PS6 pricing, provide PSSR tech is vastly improved by then. Yeah, I've had some pretty sharp disagreement when I said that I felt like the PS6 could really jump in price, and others have said no. They don't think so. I said, it could be $800 or $900. It could be pretty expensive, and they don't agree. Moore's Law slowed way down. It's hard to push the prices down. That is exactly the case, says Street Shadow. It affects all of tech. Street Shadow, what are you doing? New technology will see an increase in the cost of production, but once you're refining existing technology, costs go down. Modern companies don't pass these savings on to the customer, but to the shareholders. What you're saying is simply untrue. No, what you're saying is untrue. They would 100% do that if they could, because it increases your sales. If they could lower production costs of PS5 and Pro and drop the price, they would do it. Since PSVR 2 price is dropping, is Sony concerned? That could quite literally be that it's long enough in circulation they feel they can drop the price. It could be a concerning thing. It could be that demand's not been where they need it, and it could be sort of the end of the PSVR 2. I don't know. We would need more commentary from PlayStation. We would need an earnings call or a trajectory comment from them. They haven't said anything. It could be bad. It could be good. There's no way to know until they speak to it. This is why the narrative that console sales don't matter is so faulty, says Corey. The console is an access portal to the PlayStation Marketplace. PlayStation would love nothing more than to get the price of the access point down so that more people have access to the PlayStation Marketplace, says Corey. That's exactly right. If they could lower cost of production and then have a bump in their sales because they can lower price, they would 100% do that. It's why they've done it every gen, because it's effective. It works. They can't do it right now. You assume companies want to make money. What if they didn't? Got you there. Shut up, MASH. I see the PS6 being at least $650. Here's what will be very weird, Lobo. I can't see the PlayStation 6 coming to the market and being cheaper than the Pro. Wherever the PS5 Pro is priced, it would be weird for the PS6 to come to the market and be cheaper. Like, when the PS5 hit the market, how much was the PS4 Pro at that point in time? How much was it? It had to be cheaper. I think I'm reasonable to assume that. I think that's a reasonable assumption, that the PS4 Pro was cheaper than the PS5 retail price at launch. It had to be, or people would have been very confused. Wait, that just seems logical, that you would go to the store and you'd see PS4 and PS4 Pro and then PS5, and the PS5 would be more expensive. The Pro never got a price drop. Okay, so the Pro is $400. Yes, so yeah, so that tracks. That's cheaper than the PS5 was at launch. Because PS5 at launch was $500, was it not? Now it's $450, but that's the digital version. Or was the digital version $400? PS4 Pro was $400 on release. What was the PS5 digital at launch? Was it $400? Okay, so that was, but that didn't have the disk drive though, so that would have made sense to people, I think. You would say PS5 digital, $400, that's the price of a Pro, but the Pro has the disk drive. That kind of makes sense. If you want a one-to-one match, the PS5 was $100 more. Thanks, YouTube. Just the video I needed on February the 27th in the UK. Happy Thanksgiving. I swear we're going to have to literally unlist every single one of those old members' videos. YouTube is absolutely hurting us. It's hurting us because they're throwing that content on your homepage and you're not clicking on it, and it's probably I know it's hurting us. It's hurting our turnout. It's hurting our uploads. They're literally putting super old members-only content in front of you. We're going to have to go unlist all of that. We're just going to have to. They're out of their dadgum gourd. If the Xbox 360 went from the 90 nanometer chip to the 32 over 4 revisions, now we're lucky to get 2 revisions of the shrink by 1. Well, if they follow the pattern, then the PlayStation 6 digital will be $700, and the PlayStation 6 disc drive, like if it's bundled, it'll be $800. If they follow that pattern, right? The PlayStation 6 digital will just match the price of the PS5 Pro. So it's not just my YouTube feed. I'm going to get a bunch of your old videos popping up. Are they members videos, Brett, when they're old, or is it just old videos in general? YouTube absolutely has bumbled this. They have put the pedal to the floor, and they're trying to get you to see my members-only content. And it's like, I appreciate that to a certain degree, but like, what are you doing? Like, showing somebody a 2-year-old Happy Thanksgiving members stream, or it's a members video, that's not helpful. No one's clicking on that, and then that communicates to YouTube that you don't want to see my content, which isn't true. You don't want to see old content. To spell it out, it used to be that a smaller node meant a smaller chip, and the cost of the chip is based on the size. A chip with the same performance that's a tenth of the size is way cheaper. And they're not able to do that this time, is my understanding. Yeah, right there. Who is that? Yeah. Film Comics Explained has a 3-week-old video on your homepage for members only. That is so not helpful to them. If you are subbed to that channel, you're not going to click on that. That is so unhelpful. YouTube has completely overreacted here. Again, like, I appreciate the effort to try to get more people into the live streams, but you're absolutely corrupting, members content. I appreciate you trying to get more people into the members content, but you're corrupting the entire process. Oh, you're not subbed to his channel. So you're not subbed, and they're trying to get you to go to his channel with something that you can't even watch. That's quite literally dumb. Like, there's nothing else to call that. Hey, you're not subbed to this channel. Why don't you check out this video you can't watch? It's like they're trying to prove that paid for content doesn't get good conversion, and they're going about it all the wrong way. We do have some questions in here from the members. You guys can always submit questions with the question command. Do me a favor and hit the like button as well. Let's try to get the 400 likes. We've had a really strong day despite YouTube being weird. Stonespire says, what are the odds of the Gears collection coming out right before E-Day? I don't think they would do it right before. I have a strange feeling that the Gears of War collection but it could be that April thing that Tom Henderson was talking about. No, I'm sorry, not Tom Henderson. Tom Warren. Tom Warren tweeted on Blue Sky. That's confusing, right? He posted on Blue Sky that April is going to be a really great month for PlayStation 5 users. So I think they either announce and or release the Gears collection in April. And I also think Forza's coming in April. Maybe they announce a bunch of other games in April. You know, maybe they do. I mean, here's something they could do. They did their developer direct. We've heard from the insider Ecstasis that Xbox is going to be doing a partner preview in March. Maybe April they do some kind of a stream about, Project Latitude. They just don't call it that. Maybe they literally have a stream or a video about that coming. They want to make it clear and official that, hey, we're bringing our games to you. You know, hey, Nintendo, hey, PlayStation, we're bringing our games to you. It's possible. I don't know. You do your Dev Direct, you do your partner preview, and then you do your, I don't know. You do your Project Latitude, something. I don't know. They may feel that it's good to officially come out and just speak to it frankly and say, you know, we are we're bringing our content to you. He says, I think all of the fab allotment is going to go to AI, and the gaming segment is going to be a node behind going forward. Why is everybody thinking that the PlayStation 6 will be $600? Time shows that PlayStation always has 2 to 3 price drops, and then the next console is the high average of the cost. We've only had one price drop. It seems that PlayStation has indicated we will not be getting a price drop, though. That seems to be that seems to be the case. Like, we're not going to get one. It seems like we're not getting one, which would mean then maybe we get one in the year lead up to the PS6. I mean, that I'll say is possible. Maybe by then they just justify it. They're like, demand's going to be at an all-time low because we're getting ready to trot out the PS6. You know, drop the price of the PS5 digital to, $350 or $400, and the disc one goes down to $450 or $400, and the Pro drops to $600, and then you come out with your PS6 at $700 or something. I don't know. Seems like they're content to just do sales instead of drops. Now that could change, but any drops now are going to be eaten by tariffs. Yeah, I mean, they're obviously going to have to adapt that as well. Like, that's not something that we know the certainty or future of just yet. I mean, that all is still hanging in the air. So we'll have to wait and see. Switch never dropped. Yeah, the Switch never dropped, not once this gen. You can buy a Switch 1 OLED right now, and the price is the same as it's always been. You know? I gotta say, seeing that snapshot of your homepage, Fuzzy, I think our thumbnail looks so good. Gaming news today. Like, it really pops. I think it looks really, really good. Like, in the meta of YouTube thumbnails, like, I feel like that's a very clickable thumbnail. We're not getting good reach today. They didn't put our video in front of a lot of people. We're getting a good CTR. Like, a lot of people are clicking, but they're not showing it to very many people. We have been 100% just sequestered for whatever the frick reason. Like, the impression count today is just in the dadgum toilet, and I think it's because of the glitch that we had earlier when we scheduled. Like, impression count is usually on like a slow day in the 40 to 50,000s. We've been streaming for 2.5 hours, and we're at like 18. I'm like, okay. I don't know what you're doing. I could be wrong, but didn't they say that the PS5 Pro sales sloped significantly now? Stopped? Nobody has used those phrases, no. Nobody has said that they've significantly stopped or slowed. It's pacing slightly behind PS4 Pro. And again, they forecasted it wouldn't sell as well as the PS4 Pro. Like, PlayStation and Sony anticipated that. They forecasted because of the price point. They basically knew that it was going to be slower. And the sales report they just posted is actually showing that they're actually doing quite well. PS4 was a 1080p console. PS4 Pro had checkerboard 4K. Main reason. I'm always coming around. I'll share. Just shared it to X. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love and the support. That's very kind of you. Considering this is mainly my feed, yeah, yours is very clickable. Yeah, the meta of faces in thumbnails, I have been tempted to do it so many times. But then when I see your feed, I'm like, no, I think we're making the right choice by not doing like my face. I think there's good and bad, right? As soon as you see the thumbnail, you know, oh, that is so-and-so. I'm going to go see what so-and-so has to say, right? Like, there is some power there, but I'm kind of glad that we've never done that. At least not for very long. We did it a long time ago for a little bit, and I just never liked it. Just remember to put a shocked Pikachu face and hold up a controller. Right. Someone pointed out that adding Canada as a state would be like adding a Super California, as in huge and very liberal. And since then, I've been on board with annexing Canada. Spice King submitted a question and said, first party, this, third party, that. When are studios going to go fourth and fifth party? That's exactly right. That's what I care about. That is what I care about. You know? I like mine. Yeah, I think yours are good, Hilly. I think the giant picture text in the middle, I do think a lot of people do that. So it could benefit you to brand them, you know, put your name somewhere on it, put your logo somewhere on it. I think it's always going to be difficult. There's a lot of people doing that meta now of like, it's just a giant good looking picture and then words right across the middle. It can be really, really effective. Who got me to click yesterday doing that? What was the video I watched yesterday? Video I watched yesterday. Oh, it was from Legendary Drops. It said, "They just won't stop," was his thumbnail. And it said, "This game wasn't made for you." And I actually thought it was a really good video. I thought it was a really good video. I appreciate how he tackled the subject. You know, I actually thought it was good. I thought I was going to go a completely different direction. But I actually appreciated the video. I was like, if I did reaction content, like that would be the video. That's the kind of video I would want to react to. The difficulty I have with reaction content is I think the best reaction content is when you do it on the fly, and that's, I think, a big risk, because it's like, well, then what if the guy says something that kind of takes us in that lane that we don't want to go, right? You know, all of a sudden I'm getting a video where a guy's going on like an anti-wokey rant, and it's like, I don't want to watch that. You know what I mean? What game was he talking about? Avowed. He had people basically complaining about him on Reddit, and he kind of addressed the issue of like telling me the game's not made for me. It's like, I definitely say that to people sometimes, but like in certain instances, it's like he's making valid criticisms of a game's systems. He's not just saying like, oh, it's woke. Like, I basically have just told people, like, if you feel like that element in the game is too much for you, if you don't want to play the game, then there are so many other games you can play. I do think there is something to be said for, like, if suddenly your favorite franchise does it and you feel like, oh man, I can't believe that they went this direction. Like, I gave the example of, like, you know, going in the direction of, like, if all of a sudden Kratos was Karen and hitting everybody with a purse, right? I went extreme. Well, I would be upset by that, and I wouldn't want to play that, and I would feel like it would be a betrayal of the brand and the franchise. I would and be like, well, it's not made for you. It's like, well, I think that is different when a franchise feels like it kind of got hijacked. What's the best corner for the logo? Upper left. Opposite of the length of the video, I think. Down in the right-hand corner where the length of the video is, you don't want to put it there. I would put it upper left. Kind of have like two anchor points at that like how long is the video, and then the upper left has your logo. Me and Andrew WK to make a studio, the ultimate party. One of the thumbnails that one guy subscribed, he repeated this thumbnail, which is him getting arrested. Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of pulling up and reacting to content. I think it can make for good content. I tend to, when I did reaction content, I tended to do videos that had been out for more than a day. I never wanted to jump on a video like as soon as it hit. I feel like that's kind of like unfair. So soon. Yeah, Blades of Fire is going to do their thing soon. It's a 5:05 thing, 1:30 p.m. If you guys are not following these guys on Twitter, it's underscores, right? Blades of Fire. So just at Blades of Fire. Just put underscores in between the words. And it's from 5:05. And they're doing something today with the IGN Fan Fest very, very soon. So I'm very interested to see what that game is. It seems like it's going to be some kind of an open world RPG where there's going to be elements of like forging and crafting, like a blacksmith or something. So they've not shared any details. They were like, it was Project something. I think it was like Project Forge. And then they changed their name. They changed their Twitter name and they made their announcement. And there goes Chrome. There goes Chrome. I have to refresh. If you guys haven't done so yet, man, hit that like button, dude. We're so close to 400 likes, guys. Thanks for a super strong and stable day. Even though YouTube's been kind of wonky, you guys showed up. You guys showed up. And I greatly appreciate it. What was the Rogue hockey game? It was called Tape to Tape? Tape to Tape, I believe. Oh, so it's not the Rogue hockey game. No. That was, somebody said that because I made a joke about Blades of Fire being the long-awaited sequel to Blades of Steel. I made the joke on Twitter. And it didn't do very good. The Chrome tab for the stream slowly leaks to over 5 gig of memory used, and then it crashes. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I think it's the chat, Zubair. I think if you refresh the chat, it fixes it. Like go toggle from top chat to live chat. I think that literally fixes it. There's a roguelike hockey game. Yeah, it's called Tape to Tape. We looked at it today. It actually looks pretty good. What do you think about Jump Ship? I think Jump Ship looks awesome. It's got so many potential fun parts. That's definitely a community game night game. Jump Ship is 100% a community game night game. Is Firefox any good these days? I think people have largely migrated to Opera. Update. 4A Games continues to work on the next Metro game as well as a new IP. They pushed out an update today. You use Firefox, Hilly? I've had some people say they prefer it. The developers of Tape to Tape want to release on console after it hit version 1.0. I was going to send you this to you, Lono. New FPS game. What's it called? Somebody showed me one earlier that looked pretty good. It was like a rogue. It was fast. You talking about the La Chimera game? Or La Chimera? It's probably La Chimera. Yeah. La Chimera. It's literally. It's on my feed right here. Looks no pun intended, looks pretty fire. Single player or up to 3-player co-op, story driven. Okay, built on the 4A engine. Independent studio Reburn. Yeah, I've been seeing this in my feeds today. It looks like Killzone and Crisis had a baby. It looks good. I mean, I like the emphasis on like the quick frenetic action, the dodges. I'm seeing abilities. I'm seeing guns that remind me a little bit of like Witchfire and Destiny. The fact that it's going to be up to 3-player co-op, I think that's encouraging. I continue to think that if games like this could come out and nail it, I think they could do quite well. I just think they always end up wanting to do some kind of a PvP thing. And we're creeping up. Yeah, we're creeping up on 400 likes. I asked for more likes and I only got 4, so some of y'all are slacking. Some of y'all are sleeping. Some of y'all sleep. We got some questions in here being submitted. Let me take a look at them here. Oh, no, just one. Sorry. Bumblepant says, will you try the Splitgate 2 beta? I just don't have any interest. I really, really don't. My backlog is so full. I'm excited to try Monhun tomorrow with you guys. And an arena PvP shooter, just one that I especially don't think has a shelf life. I just don't think any of these games have a shelf life. So, what's good, feed? Mash also submitted a question here and says, have you tried the Artful Escape? Campaign is like 4 to 4.5 hours. You're on it now and it's fire. Listen, I'm here to tell you, everybody's going to say the same thing about Splitgate 2 when they play it. They're like, it's fun, it's awesome, oh, it's such a blast. This streamer's loving it, this streamer's playing it. Let's revisit in 6 months. What I'm always going to say. You're okay? Okay, man. Great. Getting strong response, getting people to like it. Cool. We got to revisit in 6 months, because until then, it doesn't really matter what anybody thinks, because if it can last, that's really, truly all that ever matters about a game like that. Yeah, I saw is that side scroller, Hilly? I saw the Terminator game. I did. I saw it. I got to finish It Takes Two. I didn't think it didn't look like a game that I would enjoy. So there are pixel art games, and then there are how do I want to say this? There are pixel art games, and then there are games that are pixely and also dated. Does that make sense? Yeah, like Replaced is pixel art, but it looks pixel art modern. And then there's like pixel art classic, I guess is how I would say it. And like that Terminator game looked pixel art classic. So it's going to feel old or dated or whatever. We'll probably check out this IGN FanFest thing that they're doing. We probably should have been co-streaming these. They're live on Twitter. They're probably also live on, let's see. They're also live on YouTube, I bet. Because in 30 minutes, we're going to get a look at that. Yeah, they're live right now. Here we go. All right, so we'll check this out if I see anything popping up, worth checking out and worth watching. Right now they're talking about Gex Trilogy, but in about 30 minutes I'm interested in the Blades of Steel. No, Blades of Iron. I'm sorry, Blades of Fire. Blades of Fire. Forza Horizon 5 PS5 trailer just released. Are you serious? Like, do we got a date? Do we got a date? Pre-order to get early access. It looks like we have a release date. Forza Horizon 5 Horizon Realms. It goes live on April 25th. Pre-order and get the premium edition for early access starting on April 25th. Yeah. So it seems like April 29th is the release date and you can pay for early access. Hang on a second. See if we can get a screenshot. There you go. Let us send a tweet. Forza Horizon 5, is that the official title? PS5 release date is April 29th. Pre-order for early access on April 25th. Forza Horizon 5 PS5 release date is April 29th. Pre-order for early access on April 25th. Forza got a date before Indy. It did. It did indeed. You're not a racing guy? I'm not a racing guy either. Bolton Gaming submitted a question. I'm going to pull up this IGN stream again in just a second. Bolton saying here, when do you think Capcom is going to reveal Resident Evil 9? And second question, do you think they'll remaster Resident Evil 5? I think they're going to keep combing through and doing remasters and remakes. I think they're going to keep doing that. But Resident Evil 9 is probably going to be this summer, would be my guess. PlayStation's rumored to be doing a showcase. I could see it being there. Jeff Keighley Summer Game Fest kickoff, it could be there. Xbox Showcase could be there. Those are kind of your three big potential events for it to show up to. Resident Evil 5 was not good. Sounds like a perfectly good reason to remaster, remake it, maybe? I don't know. I'm not a Resident Evil guy. My first Resident Evil I ever played was 7, and I loved it. I did not like 8 very much, and I liked Resident Evil 2 Remake a lot. I did not like the remake of, what was the one that I didn't like? 4? Is this Atomfall? I don't know. Let me see if they're talking. Let's see if they're saying anything.
Remembering to keep your guns loaded could be the difference between life and death. Here we skip forward a little and find ourselves tracking down an outlaw. Taking enemies out quickly and quietly will allow you to outthink any packs and turn the odds in your favor. Here we sneak up on them before swiftly dispatching them and taking their loot. Now we have to decide whether to engage with the larger pack. This time we go for it, equipping our rifle from the quick access menu and making a headshot. Conscious of the reload time for the rifle, we quickly switch to a double-barreled shotgun that we found. This allows us to kill 2 outlaws who rush at us. All of our guns are now empty, so we have no option but to switch to a melee attack and our trusty cricket bat. You can either make quick swings with this, or charge up a meteor attack. Just be careful not to miss. We look forward to revealing more about Atomfall before release on March 27th.
Combat looks fine. I like how it's very tactical and very choice oriented and not super crazy octane action, but I think there's a lot more action later, March 27th. Now that I stream at such a higher quality, I'm so disappointed in the quality of other people's streams. This looks such bad bit rate. Get on AV1 and get on a better bit rate, please. Good night.
Super Dan.
Is that reviewing well? That came out, didn't it? I feel like it was reviewing pretty well. RE9's open world. There's rumors that they want to go more open world with RE9. Oh, this is it.
Was a gift from the gods.
This is it.
But these are dark times. The Queen's spell has turned steel to stone and left her army unmatched. Only you can wield the hammer of the gods and bend steel to your will. You have been chosen, Arandelira. Only you can forge your legend.
What could you possibly say? You're here to kill me.
What? That's this year? Blades of Fire this year.
You just saw Gex, Brawlhalla, Atomfall, Alien Rogue Incursion, and the world premiere of Blades of Fire right here on FanFest. Next up, it's SmackDown time with the huge new wrestling game, WWE 2K25. Let's get ready to rumble.
Ding dong, hello, it's WWE superstar Bayley and your role model, and I'm here at IGN FanFest talking about 2K25, and I hear there's a showcase mode where you can play myself versus Naomi in a historical women's championship match in Saudi Arabia, and we all know what happened there. I was on a roll, I was on fire, I came out on top, I made history like I do. But now I'm hearing that you can make changes, that if you're feeling the glow, that you can make Naomi win the match, that for some reason in your little brain, you don't want to see Bayley win. And for some reason, you want to make a little glitch in history in my historic 380 plus day as SmackDown Women's Champion, and you want to make Naomi win this match? Well, if you decide to do that, to each his own, and just tweet me, I'll come find you, it's fine. But make sure that if you want to do that, you pre-order 2K25 right now, and I won't be mad.
For the first time ever, we have a women's championship match here in the Middle East, in Saudi Arabia. Bayley against Naomi. Will Bayley's record-setting reign end here tonight? Bayley versus Naomi, SmackDown Women's Championship on the line.
So much of Naomi's career has been predicated on making history, and tonight she has the opportunity to make even more history. And Naomi's got plenty of momentum coming into this match and is feeling mighty confident herself. Ooh, bullseye!
Bayley having every reason to be confident heading into this matchup.
I don't think it's anything Bayley can't handle, Cole. Once you reach the mountaintop, you plant your feet and you hold your ground, no matter how heavy the burden may get.
Here's Bayley landing hard on the outside.
Taking flight. Whoa, what a landing. Took a leap of faith and connected perfectly. This could be just what they needed. Naomi going for broke. And this high-risk offense from the challenger might be catching the champion by surprise. The challenger being the aggressor here, but remember, the title can only be won by pinfall or submission inside the ring.
We know that Naomi's going to want to pick up the pace in this match, but Bayley's going to look to wear Naomi down.
Yeah, Bayley's going to want to slow down the pace and let the adrenaline wear off for Naomi. Bayley can also turn up the aggression here in a way I'm not quite sure Naomi can match. Bayley's being caught off guard by Naomi. The champ wasn't expecting such a flurry of offense from the
Playing possum! Whoa, playing possum! The challenger wriggles out in one.
She still has enough energy for a simple kick out.
Byron, you've talked a lot about this change in Bayley and how people can't believe that this is the type of person she's turned into.
Well, it comes down to career frustration. Bayley is frustrated with her career progression. The way things were when she was hugging and
Yeah, this is an IGN fan fest, and I wanted to see that Blades of Fire game, and now there's a trailer for a wrestling game.
the WWE Universe.
Oh, look at a head scissor. Oh, and a head scissor DDT.
That could be it. Naomi isn't feeling intimidated by the moment.
My wife says that your coffee runs at a stable 60 FPS. Thank you.
Oh, atomic drop. I don't think I've ever seen a champion feel as disrespected as Bayley has, Corey, because Bayley's talked a lot about how people think she's an afterthought as a champion. Everybody talks about Becky Lynch on Raw. They're now talking about Rhea Ripley in NXT. But Bayley has been the longest reigning champ in SmackDown history.
And you read off all the accolades, all the championships she has held. Yet for some reason, Bayley still finds herself overlooked.
Bombardment from the champion. The challenger has to be rocked. And I think it was you, Byron, who asked Bayley if she changed. And they're going shot for shot. The fight is on, and it's furious.
Slugging away with everything they've got. Two titans trading strikes and refusing to back down. Who will break first? That is the question. Toe-to-toe, treating each other like heavy bags. Oof. Just going off with everything they've got now. I thought they were going to keep that up all night. Big-time atomic drop. That'll have you walking funny. Get yourself out of harm's way. Roll through into the pin.
Great combination. The challenger fending off the 2 count.
Kicking out now sends a very clear message.
Caught the leg. What a windmill kick. Get back here. Leg lariat. And Naomi has taken the upper hand.
Yeah, Naomi's at full throttle.
And now she delivers her back into the ring.
Yeah, I don't know why they're showing the whole fight. Usually this is like a, short stint, short trailer.
From the ropes.
Talk about force. That'll give you whiplash. Setting her up here.
And here we go. Championship's on the line. Naomi's got Bayley in trouble.
Showing off the mechanics.
This could be
Yeah,
Naomi's
that's true.
moment.
Smart move by Bayley, protecting her title and going to the eyes.
Oh, what a kick. Bayley is down and in trouble.
Quick thinking by Naomi, looking to close this one out.
Nobody home. Bayley wisely moves out of harm's way.
What's 505's
Bayley's
at?
I think Bayley's trying to trap Naomi's legs in Naomi's own shirt.
A great counter by Naomi. Naomi ducks underneath, and we got a standoff. Great match so far.
Well, Bayley thought she had Naomi, but the challenger was ready.
Well, the champion has to find a new strategy.
Calls out the rear view. Oh, we headed towards a title change.
And the cover. Now we get it. We have a new champion. Here is your winner and the new SmackDown Women's Champion, Naomi.
Bayley's stranglehold on the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Are you down in the dumps because AI is just everywhere these days? Wish you could just infiltrate a dark, mysterious underground facility run by AI to, shut them down? Well, now you can in Steel Seed, the latest single-player stealth action game where you can infiltrate and parkour your way through a hostile underground facility alongside Kobe, your ride or die flying drone. Let's take a look.
This will be my last entry in this log. They're coming for me. We lost everything. Because of ourselves. The world lies in ruins, and now the future is in her hands. Our last hope, or our last threat.
FanFest is presented by Rush of iCore. Learn more at upperdeck.com/iCore.
IGN Plus is where your adventure begins.
What are you selling?
Plus is the place to get unlimited access to all the tools you need.
Yeah, they're really pushing this IGN Plus thing. Guys, we're probably close to going to the green room. Can we get 10 more likes on the video? You guys have been crushing it lately. We're also 30 members away from 600, which was a stretch goal of you can choose the weapons I have to use tomorrow night when I play Monster Hunter Wilds with Madam, and that should be a really, really fun stream. Just letting her create the character is going to be worth it. I don't know how long this is. A lot of these trailers and things we've already seen. So I was mainly interested in the Blades of Fire trailer, which we saw. I think it looks great. I've kind of tweeted. And Peachy Creamy says, well, let's keep going. And gifts 5 members. I probably owe you guys some members as well. I'm just going to go ahead and throw a 10 bomb on chat. Appreciate you guys hanging out and being here and supporting what we do. Once we go past the weekly goal and we head to stretch, I lose track, but I'm pretty sure I'm mostly paid up. So there's 10 to say thank you. We had a crazy member train earlier. A little 5 bomb train right now could secure us at 600. And then at 700, I would play inverse. We do that as well sometimes. Reverse my camera. So appreciate you guys very, very much in all that you do. Unfortunately, the IGN Fan Fest, they do lots of commercial breaks like this for their stuff. So pretty regularly, which I get it. Everybody's got to do their thing. I do my thing with members in coffee, but we
shooter and thought, man, I really wish I could modify this game with cards. Well, if you have, or if you're looking for something new, then Fragpunk may be just what the doctor ordered.
I didn't know Fragpunk was a multiplat either. It's coming to PlayStation. I did not know that.
Welcome.
Hello, I'm Jin, and I'm very glad to be here to share you some information.
Fragpunk is looking very cool. It's a 5v5 hero shooter with cards that'll switch up the gameplay in all sorts of crazy ways. So was that idea for the cards, was that always in there from the beginning, or were you developing the shooter and somewhere along the way you thought it'd be fun to add the cards?
Yes, the card idea came out at first. When we try to do these games, we try to give you an experience of making different rounds unique. So we want the players to make the rules, to change the rules for each different rounds.
It must be really fun just coming up with different cards for the game. Is that right?
Yes, very fun. Yes, we get ideas from from all your idea in mind. Like you can get that idea from the old movies, from the other from the sports, from the game you played before. Yes, you can get every.
He says everything's coming to PlayStation. Yeah, that is true. That is true. For some reason, I thought this was going to be like a time exclusive. I always said that I thought this looked like more fun than Concord, but I just don't think games like this have a chance of lasting. Like, it looks fun, but like it looks fun for maybe a week, and then that's kind of it.
When you hit when you shoot the enemies, boom! When you shoot the enemies and it gets hurt, it will be teleport to his bomb place. Yeah, to his spawn place. Yes. So it's a very interesting card. And some others, like when you throw a gun, the gun will turn into a torrent, or the gun will be turned into a flashbang. Yes, when you throw the gun, and the gun, fall on the ground, it becomes a flash and flash the enemies. Yes.
Does having all these cards present some challenges when you're trying to balance the game?
Yes, card balancing is, I think it's quite difficult. It's very difficult things, but we indeed do many things to try to do the balance. For example, the simple way is we give a cost to the card. Every card has a cost. The weak card costs less money, like cost 1 point or 2 points, and the stronger card maybe cost 4 point to 5 point. So the money you have for the both team is nearly the same. So so you have to choose. Like you devote all the money to one stronger card, or you can split the money to two different weaker card. Yes, that's a kind of balance. So that's the first way to do the balance. We use the cost to do the balance. And the second one, we have a rank system. Like our game, we are competitive shooter games, and we have a normal play, we have a quick play, and we have a ranking system. So for the ranking system, we both face the same card. The system will give us 8 cards at the same time. 8 cards in front of us, and for me, I may ban a card, and you ban a card. Then I pick a card, and then you pick a card, and I pick the second card. You pick the second card. So that's a way to make the balance, which means we are facing the same pool, and the rest of the tactics is how we choose the card. That's our second way to try to make the game balance, especially the card balance.
So I believe you've debuted a new character as part of IGN's FanFest. Chum is this new character. What can you tell us about Chum?
For our beta test, we have our first inhuman character called Sona, and Chum is the second one. He is also inhuman, so he's made of stone. I think he's a stone robot, and he's a fisher. He likes to fish. He likes to fish, so he has a fish. The fish can do some interesting things. Yes, but the details, we can see that when the game is launched. So, but that's the information I can give you, that he's a stone robot and he can fish. He's a fisher, yes.
Interesting. Sounds like a colorful character. It's not only a new character you've introduced, I think you're also showing a new map that's coming to...
Yeah, I think I think he likes to fish, but don't quote me on that.
New map. I'd like to introduce our design logic of how we made a map or how we made the whole art. Our no matter our character, but also our not only but our character, but also our map. When we try to decide a new map or decide a new character, a key element is civilizations, is cultures, is civilizations that we may get the ideas from some civilizations in real life and do some change and make it into our games. Like some of our old maps are from Egypt, are from Maya, from Viking, like this kind of the cultures. Yes, and our new map is also has a cultural income. We made it from China or Japan or Korea, a combination to make this new map. This map has some gameplay part. The map can move. Some part of the map can move. Yes, so that's a gameplay thing. Yes, gameplay feature of this map.
Very cool. So Fragpunk is out March 6th. It's going to be free to play. Can you share any details on Fragpunk's post-release roadmap?
Our goal is we are going to run the game for quite a long time, and it's because we are competitive shooter games. It's a seasonal online running. Every big season we have it will last for 4 months, and we will divide it the big season into 2 different small seasons. We call it chapters. Like one season has 2 chapters, chapter 1 or chapter 2. So each chapter will last for 2 months. So for every chapter, we will provide you a new lancer, a new hero, a new lancer. And for every big season, every 4 months, we will provide you a new map. So we can say 2 months hero and 4 months a new map. And then for every chapter, we will do a change to the card pool. We may drag some card out of the card pool to make some change, and we will add a new card into our game. So new heroes, new maps, new cards, yes, and some new gameplay, new game mode. Yes, that's our plan. We do the update every. You can see we do the update every chapter. Yes.
Very cool. Well, Fragpunk is looking great. It's looking like it's doing some really unique, cool things that other hero shooters aren't doing. It arrives on Xbox, PlayStation 5, and PC on March 6th. Shen, thank you so much for joining us today. And for all of you viewers out there, be sure to stick around for more IGN FanFest.
What's going on, FanFest? It's WoW, Women of Wrestling's Sibley Skulls. IGN's celebration of the biggest names in games, movies, and TV continues with tons more exclusive trailers, reveals, and interviews with some of the hottest fandoms out there. Stick around.
FanFest is presented by the Army National Guard. Rise to every challenge and overcome everything. The next greatest generation is now.
The average Cinefix movie list features nearly 100 different films and approximately 25 minutes worth of wall-to-wall deep dive analysis. To simulate that pace for this 30-second ad, we're featuring 26 different films, and before you say it, no, that math does not check out. We're not math people, we're movie people. We can't even count down from 10 without ending up at, like, 96. Subscribe to IGN Movies and TV for more Cinefix movie lists. Bad at math, great at movies.
Can't find that final collectible you're missing? IGN strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help.
One step at a time.
IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and best of all, free. IGN has the very best, most complete and accurate guides for Shadow of the Erdtree, Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, and so much more.
See? It's good, right?
Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN when you search for guides.
IGN Plus is where your adventure begins.
What are you selling?
Plus is the place to get unlimited access to all the tools you need to beat your games.
Here's what you need to know for bringing down Gloomspawn.
Plus awesome exclusive discounts on IGN Store.
Maybe this would tease open your money pouch.
plus ad-free browsing on IGN.com. Plus, unlimited game help tools like premium interactive maps with your own custom map markers.
So Forza Horizon 5's release date was not just revealed. It is PS5 Pro enhanced. Not that should be all that surprising. PS5 Pro increased visual fidelity in 60 FPS mode, adds ray trace car reflections to races, and free roam in quality mode. That one's going to hurt, I think, a little teeny tiny bit. Let me grab Shinobi's tweet so I have that for later, for further reporting tomorrow. And a super chat from a man Space Jockey supporting the channel a whole lot lately. Thank you, sir. This is just my opinion, but the Reforge Gaming Member Plus subscription seems more worth it to me than IGN Plus. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you, Space Jockey. This just in, Reforge Gaming Member Plus member says that my Member Plus is better than IGN's Member Plus. Guys, we need like 10 of you to upgrade. We need like 10 of you to upgrade, and we're going to be at a record. Well, we'll do a 600 IRL reverse seer stake stream. So upgrade right now or sign up brand new for Member Plus. We only need 10 of you to do it. Like 10. I think it's like 12, but still 10. Come on, y'all. It's the closest we've ever been.
Still recovering from a natural disaster that struck decades ago. But eventually, things go wrong, and you are sent in exile to Albion, and you have to prove your mettle in a mysterious place where no civilized Roman wants to be. So, what will you do? How will you maintain stability in this alien province? Will you push the locals toward the civilized Roman way of life, or will you embrace and protect their traditions? You are in the eye of this storm, and as you progress through your journey, you will uncover many new opportunities and challenges, tied closely to the choices you make as a governor in the provinces of the Empire. We will be showing more of the game.
Hey, a 5-bomb as well, dude. Space Jockey, man, you've just been so generous. We are now 20 members away from the first stretch goal of you guys get to pick my weapons in Monhun tomorrow night with Madam. Thank you so much. If you go past that, you can even invert my controls. You guys are crazy generous lately. I don't know what to say, man. Seriously. It can be really demoralizing as a YouTuber when, like, viewership is down or, like, the website's acting goofy, but, like, you guys bring the support no matter what.
More versatile, it also means you have more mouths to feed and lose additional cargo space. However, Anno is not all sunshines and happiness. As a governor, you will face various challenges, and sometimes a bit of force is necessary to achieve your goals. To add some more punch to your ship, consider installing archer towers. Adding hull reinforcements will boost the armor of your ship, allowing you to take on even more challenging tasks. And for the final module today, let's add a big bang to our ship. Catapults are long-range weapons, powerful enough to deliver deadly blows to enemy ships, as well as structures on islands like towers and walls. So, lead and build your empire through economic growth, diplomacy, or military prowess, and build your fleet to reflect the type of governor you aspire to be. We hope you like this little peek, so stay tuned as Anno 117 Pax Romana will release later this year on PC, PS5 and Xbox Series S and X. Wishlist now to stay up to date. Thank you.
Oh, well, you guys are going to have to do your own voting that night, so you're going to have to show up, and we'll use a poll. So rally the troops, Sneaky. We're probably going to hit 600 members without breaking a sweat.
It's a calling. To start, you'll want a land ship.
Oh, a new captain. How can I help you?
Then you'll assemble a crew.
What kind of lost souls will you find? Maybe a soldier escaping her past, or a cook who lost his taste for life. Perhaps a scientist keeping secrets.
At last, you'll look for purpose. And I've got all sorts of contracts to test your mettle. The march, it is alluring. But beware its peace. Beware its mysteries. Beware its gifts.
Inevitably, this heart of yours will change forever.
For this world's true nature always has been veracity. Let the march forge you. Face it with an unbreakable will. Our survival lies in your hands. We all feel the call. But do you have what it takes to answer it? Do you have it? The grit of a trailblazer.
Come on, get that money. 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 Let me stack that money. Money. Come on, get that money. Switch it up.
That was a look at Cash Cleaner Simulator, which could be the most realistic and literal money laundering simulation to date.
Remember to wash your $100 bills in cold water and tumble dry on low. Otherwise, they might shrink and come out as 20s. Up next, we're venturing into unfamiliar territory. Here's some inside info on PlayerUnknown's Prologue.
Yeah, the music really brought the vibe. That looked like it had like actual really good weather systems. Like it just looked like a good little, well, maybe not little, but like survival game.
Those systems will be there. Like I want ecology systems. I want if you kill all the bears in one region, then the deer go nuts. I want these, but these take a long time to get right.
I
Welcome
told
to
you.
IGN Fan Fest. I'm Damon Hatfield. We have a special treat for you today. A few years ago, Player Unknown Productions dropped a mysterious teaser for something called Prologue. The team has gone mostly silent since then, showing only a behind-the-scenes video that was light on actual game details and dropping a tech demo called Preface: The Undiscovered World on Steam last year. But the real world is desperate for details on the next game from the creator of PUBG. Joining me today is Player Unknown himself, Brendan Green, to talk about Prologue, Go Way Back, Preface, and just what is Project Artemis. Welcome, Brendan.
Thanks so much. Great to be here.
So, Prologue, Go Way Back. Can you clarify exactly what this is? Is it a playable tech demo or is it a full game experience?
So it's a showcase of some tech we're building, but also a simple survival game. It's a survival loop that takes place on a map that changes every time you press play. So it's like a showcase and a test of this terrain tech we've developed, but also an emergent survival game. It's a unique world every time and some simple survival loops. It's a hard game, but it's not trying to reinvent the wheel. This is a survival loop, get from one side of the map to the other side of the map. There's some bad weather and you've got some mechanics to help you survive.
Can you give us some idea of what's the sort of size and scope of the experience?
So it's 8 by 8 kilometers. So you start the other side of the map. It's generally about 6-ish kilometers to get to the weather tower on the other side of the map. Currently about an hour and a half, I think, if you get everything running your way to get across the map. It's a different map every time, so quite unique every time. And it's exciting to us.
And you also have this demo, Preface: The Undiscovered World. How do Preface and Prologue relate to one another?
So Preface is exploring the scale. Preface is Earth-scale worlds. How do we generate that locally? How do we do that efficiently? And Prologue is looking at the systems we'll add to that world eventually. So it's testing our terrain tech. We have this tech that can generate millions, if not billions, of unique seeds. So creating quite literally unique maps every time you press play. Creating systems on these worlds in this way of doing it in real time requires the systems to be systemic in a way that hasn't really been done before. So we need to test out these systems and make sure that they can scale well when we move it to Earth scale. So Prologue is kind of a test bed for that.
So then there's Artemis. Is Artemis sort of the grand sum of what's being built with Prologue and Preface?
So we have a 3-game plan. So Artemis is like the third game, or the end goal, and that's the Earth-scale worlds with lots of stuff to do, kind of like almost like a civilization MMO, this kind of scale of thing, but not just a game, more just a place to go to. But the 3 games are solving 3 problems. One was terrain. How do you do terrain in real time, locally, so you don't have to send hard drives to people with data? It can all be done quite efficiently. Game 2 is then how do you add a lot of interaction like agents and bots to that world to give players lots of stuff to do and maybe test digital marketplace and ownership. And then game 3 is then adding millions of players to that loop by basically reinventing how you do networking at that scale so we can have millions of players in these worlds interacting together.
So circling back to Prologue, can you elaborate on the survival elements there, or have you learned anything from other survival games out there?
We have combustion, lighting fires, eating food, boiling pots. Nothing really new there, but that's not the purpose. The purpose is to test and prove this new way of creating worlds and kind of building a community and building with the community, because we're discovering sort of new ways of interacting with this world day by day and working with a community to find their feedback and find what systems they'd like to add to the game to sort of make it more enjoyable for them. That's really the goal of Prologue.
Is Prologue about man versus nature, or will other NPCs pose a challenge?
No, it's man versus the weather.
Gotcha.
I wanted a really simple bad guy. And I just felt with AI, with patterns, you just see that. But with weather, it's cold, or it's wet, or it's hailing, or it's freezing. And that's simple, right? That's just a bar going down, and you just got to manage yourself. So for me, that was the easiest way to create a nice survival loop.
Can you give any examples of how players will have to adapt to dynamic weather systems?
You need different layers of clothing. So if it's quite cold, so if you're trying to find the next cabin on your route to the weather tower and suddenly it starts snowing, if you don't have the right clothing, you'll probably die because you'll just get so cold you'll just pass out. So it's quite harsh like that. So you have to plan your route. You can almost predict the weather by just seeing what's coming in next, seeing the transitions, and trying to make sure you're prepared. You don't end up in the middle of nowhere with nothing to keep you warm.
Is there a release window for Prologue?
We're hoping Q2 this year, but I'm very hesitant with release dates just because I don't want to put that pressure on the team. We still want to do like a full release in early access, so we do work in that year with the larger community, but right now we just want to make sure the game's fun.
So speaking of those community playtests, when Prologue arrives in early access, what sort of feedback are you looking for from players?
where's the fun? Like, what do they want to do? Like, this is 8x8. It's quite beautiful, we think. I've been wandering through the forest myself, and it's you just come across things and you're like, this is really nice. Like, and just thinking of things like maybe we give players a tent so they can just camp on top of a mountain and wait. We found some players just want to have a cozy cabin, right, and just stay in their cabin when the weather goes outside and just see how long they can stay for, right? But yeah, there's no right way to play it, and that's what I really love about the games I want to make.
So Prologue's 8x8. Artemis is supposed to give players an Earth-sized map. Is that right? That's still the goal?
500 million square kilometers, I think.
You mentioned that players are going to be able to work together to hunt, build villages. So it sounds like this is going to be like a large-scale civilization simulator. How far is that accurate?
I say kind of. So those systems will be there. Okay. Like, I want ecology systems. I want, if you kill all the bears in one region, then the deer go nuts. I want these, but these take a long time to get right. I just want it to be an open space that you can do this stuff if you want to, but if you just want to wander around and see the world, that's also fine. Like, there shouldn't be an enforced way of playing. But if you want to take over a territory and do that, there should be systems there to allow you to do it. But again, this is what we want to work on over the next, 10 years, to try to figure out what is the best way of creating a digital place. Because it's not just a game, it's meant to be just a place, right? Like a 3D internet, a place you can go, and yes, you can play games there, but you can also do a whole lot of other stuff.
In your mind, when are these games set? Are they set in the modern day? Is there electricity?
Oh no, I mean, there's a lore there, there's a story I want to tell that's in the background. We won't be revealing it too early, but there'll be hints of it through the games we make. But there is, there's a reason they exist.
You mentioned having AI helpers that can help players gather resources. Yeah. Are these stand-ins for human players, or is the goal to actually get actual real people collaborating together?
It was one of the early ideas I had for how, if you have an Earth-scale world, and even if we can only do maybe 10,000 people or 100,000 people on this world, it's still going to be quite empty. So maybe you don't have a lot of friends, so we give you 4 AI helpers, like in Age of Empires, where you have your woodworker, your metalworker, your scientist, your healer or whatever, and they're just bots that help you do stuff. And maybe you take over a town, and the more humans that you come to the town and build a community, the more AI you have, because you get their AI as well. And now with the advances with LLMs and stuff, these AI these bots can learn a bit about you and become sort of friendly towards you. Now, that's a bit dystopian, a little bit, but again, I just think, like, how can we leverage this to create a world that these things do their jobs and take away the resource gathering part, right? So it makes more about exploration and building communities rather than you doing all the work, right? So that's how I imagine at least bots working in the game.
Well, this all sounds incredibly ambitious, and we look forward to learning more about Artemis and Prologue go way back. Thank you, Brendan, for joining me today.
Thanks so much. It'd be a pleasure.
If you want to start tooling around with Melba and get a taste for what Artemis could be, you can download the tech demo for Preface, The Undiscovered World right now, and wishlist Prologue on Steam. And for more incredible FanFest content, stay right here on IGN.
Up next, blitz, brawl, and blaze your way to victory in Mecha Break. But your path to become an ace pilot will be a difficult one, so do you have what it takes? Let's find out.
All right, I'm going to be right back. This is basically an ad. I'll be right back.
Presented by Mecha Break. Open beta available now on PC and Xbox with crossplay. Mecha Break made its debut at the Game Awards 2023 and since has continued to gain traction with other notable appearances at Summer Game Fest, Xbox Game Showcase, and Gamescom. And with the new open beta out now, we have none other than CEO of Amazing Season Games, Chris Kwok, here to tell us all about it. Hey Chris.
Hello, 各位驾驶员们，大家好，我是 Mecha Break 制作人 Chris。
So Mecha Break is coming out soon, which is super exciting. But for those who aren't aware, can you give us a quick rundown of what Mecha Break is?
Mecha Break 是一款近未来科幻机甲主题的动作射击对战游戏。那游戏上线呢，我们会有3种玩法模式，分别是6v6边缘战场、3v3王牌序列以及 PVP-V1 战术测拟模式 Matchmaking。玩家作为王牌驾驶员，可以体验作战风格各异的机兵。那当前呢，我们正在这个 Steam 和 Xbox 进行开放测试，欢迎大家前来体验。
What makes Mecha Break unique in the multiplayer mech genre?
首先，在战斗设计上来讲的话，其实我们花了很多的时间和精力去打磨每台机甲的手感。为了让每台机甲呢都具备自己的特色，那也需要满足它的硬核的操作感，还有玩法乐趣，以及需要有很强的视觉冲击力。那MechaBreak 来讲的话，我们在游戏的平衡性上面来讲的话，和这些特色设计中还要找到一个中间的平衡点。所以说我们在机甲设计上做了很多的突破。每台机甲来讲的话呢，都但求它有一个非常独特的一个设计和造型。那有的机甲来讲的话呢，我们主打的是厚重感。那希望来讲的话是每一拳、每一炮，甚至每一个移动来讲的话呢，都让玩家能感受到那种真实的移动反馈和打击反馈。有的机甲来讲的话呢，我们又需要有极高的机动性，无论是机甲的这个变形的飞行呢，还是它的这个 shift 的冲刺，那每一个动作来讲的话，我们都需要让玩家体验到驾驶机甲的这种速度的刺激感。那同时来讲的话呢，每台机甲在战场上的定位和玩法呢，也会是完全不一样的。玩家可以选择近战机甲，在前线来讲的话可以扛伤害，用大口径的武器碾压对手，也可以选择突进型的机甲，依靠高速的机动力来讲的话，在战场中游走，寻找突破口。那这种战术的选择来讲的话呢，是希望能让每一个玩家都能找到自己属于自己的战斗风格吧。最后来讲的话，我们的战场设计来讲也是非常独特的，与传统的竞技场来讲的话是完全不同的。那主打机甲突围的这个 PVPVE 的战场，也就是刚刚提到的这个 Matchmaking， 我们主打的是一个开放自由，需要玩家来讲的话有很多的战术选择。那在场景中的这个高度差、掩体、动态的场景机制，那很多的这些元素来讲的话，都会影响玩家的这个战斗胜负。希望每一场战斗来讲的话呢，都是非常独特的一个挑战给玩家。
Now, you've already had a successful open beta back in August. Since then,
This is what happens when your character is ejected in MechaBreak. It doesn't even look flattering. It doesn't. It looks like they look like water balloons. Like
新的撤离玩法模式，就是刚刚提到的 PVPVE 模式，也增加了这个玩法中的载具和空投武装。大家现在就可以在 Steam 和 Xbox 的开放测试中体验到。另外，我们迭代了6v6和3v3的地图设计，增加了非常多的细节，同时也为部分机甲准备了全新的武器装备与战术撤离的这个载具。那在上次测试中，我们也看到玩家非常喜爱的机甲和角色的自定义，我们也开放了更多的外观供大家选择和使用。
The MechaBreak Open Beta is out and live right now. What would you say are the most exciting updates that have been added to this version of the game?
总体上来讲，我们收到了很多玩家来自各个方面的非常积极的反馈吧。那很多来讲的话是关于机甲平衡性的反馈。这回来讲的话，在测试中来讲的话，很多的机甲来讲，我们都做了平衡性的一个调整。那包括了我们比较大的，我们重置了赤鞘的几个武装，那让赤鞘来讲的话呢，更具备一个战场的突破能力。那现在赤鞘是一个完全不一样的赤鞘。还有就是阿奎拉，那阿奎拉来讲的话呢，作为一个空中狙击手定位来讲的话呢，我们也重置了2个武装，那让阿奎拉来讲的话呢，更在空中来讲的话更具备这个压迫力和打击感。所以说呢，现在玩家来讲的话，可以在版本中体现完全不一样的全新平衡。
What does the future of MechaBreak look like? Do you have seasonal content and future updates already planned?
没错，游戏呢我们会采取赛季制，那每次的赛季更新呢都会是大更新，我们会带来全新的机甲、新的部件。我们希望来讲的话，玩家在每个赛季都能体现到一些新鲜感，同时来讲的话呢，让玩家去探索不同的机甲组合，带来新的玩法。那关于未来更新，其实我们已经有了一些机甲的储备。那同时来讲的话呢，很多的内容来讲的话呢，也在规划和制作中。那今年呢，我们会为大家介绍更多的新机甲。
Now, the last open beta revealed that MechaBreak features a story. What can you tell us about that?
上次测试反馈中，我们注意到有非常多的玩家非常关注 MechaBreak 世界观，我们也收到非常多期待世界观内容的一些问题。那所以说，在未来我们希望能在这个世界里面来讲的话，讲述更多的关于游戏里面的故事。那不仅仅是让玩家去只是驾驭机甲去战场里面战斗，那我们也希望玩家来讲的话，能去更多的去了解这个世界。目前其实叙事部分来讲分成2部分，一部分来讲的话呢是游戏类的剧情，那这部分来讲的话，我们会把它浓缩在游戏新手教学关卡的几10分钟里面。那这里面来讲的话呢，我们是通过这个教学关，除了告诉你操作之外，我们还会告诉你是谁，为什么要战斗等等，还有这个世界里面来讲的话。
This is making for terrible listening. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't have any control over it. Sorry.
机甲，玩家获取机师，玩家在我们这次开放的3D 的格拉库中，也会能寻找到这个世界观大量的背景信息。那除此之外来讲的话呢，就是在游戏外，我们会通过小说、漫画、动画等等来讲的话呢，去更多的演绎我们的游戏的精彩的故事内容。
Now, tell us a little bit about the progression system in the game. What does upgrading and customizing your mech look like?
其实玩家在解锁机甲的瞬间，已经获得了其完整的属性。
The guys that are developing that game, Blades of Fire, it's Mercury Steam. They did Castlevania Lords of Shadow and Metroid Dread. So that's encouraging.
那玩家可以通过改建来讲的话呢，对自己的机甲来讲的话进行一定性能上的一个调整。那这个有点像赛车的改装一样。那比如说玩家来讲的话，可以比如说提升一下引擎的出力，然后等等这些。那举个例子吧，在游戏里面例子，比如说像毛隼，我们可以通过某个改件提升毛隼的飞行速度，但同样来讲的话呢，也会导致能量槽的上限降低。对，所以说它是一正一负的。那另外来讲的话呢，就是在马斯马克的这个模式里面来讲的话，玩家是可以带入一些空投的补给的。那这个空投补给呢，包括了像飞行踏板，对，那替换机甲的武装货柜空投，一些辅助装置这些。那玩家怎么获这些装置呢？玩家需要在马斯马克这个模式里面来讲的话呢，把这个模式打出来的战利品来讲的话，成功顺利带出去。对，那这样子的话呢，玩家就可以在下一次升级之后来讲的话呢，把这些武装来讲重新带回到马斯马克。那除此之外来讲的话呢，还有就是自定义方面，玩家可以获得油漆、贴花、徽章等等来去个性化他们的机甲。那游戏运用了这个机械建模的技术啊，其实我们把一台机甲拆分的非常细。那玩家可以在这个每台机甲上来讲的话呢，足够细致的去对每一个部件的每一个色块进行 DIY。Mecha
Break focuses on competitive PvP in addition.
We're probably gonna have to go to we're probably gonna have to go to Green Room soon. It's like 2. I mean, because I've got date night tonight, and I probably have videos I need to make. We have a couple that we probably could make with the Forza thing, maybe. There's probably some things we should shop and consider. Forza's probably the lead for tomorrow, as well as just in general. We've got games to showcase and talk about, and then we're going to play Monhun tomorrow as well. So, I like letting you guys extend, especially when we're like 20 away, but I'm just not sure. We could probably only extend by about 30. Blades of Fire does look good. I've enjoyed Mercury Steam's previous games. I'd be more interested if it was a new Castlevania game. Yeah, I think it looks good. I'm excited. I'm excited. Monhun. Yeah, let's see if YouTube has fixed itself when I go to schedule the Green Room. Let's see if it's not an utter disaster like it was earlier today.
On numerous entries in the Gundam franchise, we're the mech designers for this game. What was the creative process of working with them like?
与两位老师在过去几年的合作里面来讲的话是非常愉快的。其实老师参与了部分机甲的原案设计，他们独特的机甲美学来讲，其实为 Mecha Break 注入了不同的机甲风格。
Now, before we go, what would you like to say to players that are looking to get their hands on Mecha Break?
要做好像 Mecha Break 这样一款游戏的话，我认为，最重要是要热爱。非常幸运的是 ，Mecha Break 的开发团队是一群机甲铁粉。那我们深深着迷于炫酷的机甲设计和精彩的战斗体验。所以说，我们制作 Mecha Break 的同时来讲的话，也是为了追求我们自己的机甲梦想，也是我们对全球热爱机甲的用户的 love letter。我们的 Open Beta Test 现在已经开启了，欢迎各位驾驶员前来体验。
Chris, thank you so much for joining me to chat through the future of Mecha Break.
Thank you to IGN and our players. Go enjoy the Mecha Break Open Beta 啦。
Mecha Break's Open Beta is available right now.
I always appreciate when they'll make the effort to speak English. I know that's not easy. I like that. I've always appreciated when they do that.
Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more IGN FanFest.
What's up, IGN FanFest? It's 1/3 of your history-making, groundbreaking, earth-shaking trio champions. Top tier's very own heavy hitter, Candy Crush from WoW Women of Wrestling. And instead of knocking your lights out in the ring today, I'm here for you, the fans, in celebration of all the things you love. Right here on FanFest. Let's go!
FanFest is presented by Mecha Break. Open beta available now on PC and Xbox with crossplay.
The Cinefix Top 100. A list so secretive even we don't know what movies are on it or where they rank.
What do you mean you don't know?
Each episode will reveal one of the movies.
Yeah, we probably need to go to Green Room. Especially, we've gotten more and more people to bump up to Member Plus as well. Let me set up redirect. I like going the distance. I do. But we gotta go. We got work to do. Let's just see if the next thing's any good. Oh gosh, IGN freaking Plus thing. And the segments are so long. They're so long, which I think is great. But like, if you're not interested in the game, it's like holy mackerel. The Mecha Break thing too, because that was an advertisement. I mean that's a paid for section. Like that was just so long. Ravens announced they're going to start a 150 player count in Warzone. All right, let's just see. Let's just see if the next game.
Can't find that final collectible you're missing?
Oh. Holy mackerel. Yeah, Forza is burning up the news feed. That's all I'm seeing now. And then we got the Lucky Mara. We've got Blades of Fire making the rounds. Here we go.
IGN FanFest right here on IGN. This week it's all about celebrating the stuff we love, like games, movies, shows, collectibles, and comics. But sadly, two things we don't get to celebrate are tabletop games and snacks, but that doesn't mean we don't love them. In fact, we have some really cool ones up on the IGN store right now. If you're hungry, we've teamed up with Assassin's Creed Shadows to put together an exclusive snack box filled with treats from Japan, plus some collectibles you won't find anywhere else.
If you're in the mood for an analog activity, how about a round of Gwent? The monstrously addictive deck builder introduced in The Witcher has been faithfully recreated as a physical card game. It includes everything you need to play, including 443 cards, rulebooks, scorekeeping tokens, and even a coin to flip to see who goes first.
Head over to store.ign.com and treat yourself to one of these or the hundreds of other items on sale like collectibles, vinyl soundtracks, t-shirts, gear, and more.
Coming up next, we've got a look at a Dungeons & Dragons game that'll have you rolling steel balls instead of dice, and still to come, a brand new look at Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay.
But first, the folks at Cracked have been behind some very cool and very collectible gaming hardware over the years, and we got some front row seats to check out their newest peripheral. Let's take a look.
And people complain about Keeley's Game Awards having too many commercials. Holy frick. This is like insufferably oversaturated with ads of their stuff. Like, I talk about members and coffee, but not like this, bro. Alright, yeah, I'm done. Alright, I'm going to give you guys a link. I wanted to see that Blades of Fire game. I got to see it. I'm excited. We got a lot to talk about. Let's go to Green Room. This has got to be some of the worst structured gaming event I've ever had the displeasure of co-streaming. All right, I'm going to spam a link in chat. Yeah, that's just another commercial. You can order that Gibson controller. Like, again, they're not, it's not a trailer, it's not a game, it's a commercial. It's Blades of Fire related to Blades of Steel. I already made that joke, Eugene. I made it. I made that joke on Twitter, and almost nobody noticed. Okay. You're not joking. Oh, no, I literally made that joke on Twitter. They're not related at all, Eugene. They're not related at all. All right, let's go to Green Room. I'm going to spam the link in chat and redirect you guys. Hey, thank you guys so much for being at Member Plus and above. We are literally the closest we have ever been to the big milestone of 600. We are 12 people away. We're right there. So hang on, stay at Member Plus and VIP. When we hit 600, we will do that IRL reverse seer stream. It'll be hilarious. Even people wanted me to give you my my voices that I do for my kids for Harry Potter. So we're gonna have some fun when we hit that goal. If you're watching the tail end of today's stream, you could bump up right now and come with us. You could join brand new and come with us. Hit Member Plus or VIP, and you get to come to the Green Room. I'm going to end the stream and redirect everybody over.